Hello, 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 and welcome to EscapeAoE. It is the start of our week. It is Monday, but we don't have the Monday blues, even though it is technically Friday for all the normies out there. This is where the week starts for us, and we have got a show match once again in AoE2, as we have been doing for almost, I feel like it's been 2 months now. We've had some really good series, and we've had a lot of very top and skilled players. I'm just going to switch the host over in the game room here to Twigg, because he is going to be hosting for the series between himself and ACCM today. And as always, it will be Arabia only. And this time it will be with walls. We're not banning walls like we did at the start of the this sort of show match thing. I wanted to say like the start of the series, but that's kind of confusing since this is a series. And I'll tell them that we're all good when they are ready. Yeah, unfortunately today, starting a little bit later than we should have done. I know we normally start the stream at 18, well, it's actually 17 GMT, not 18 GMT, but it's 6 PM in the UK normally. And we scheduled this show match to be 1 hour earlier than normal. And then, yeah, I was due to arrive, and yeah, got held up on the way back from the airport today. So, unfortunately, we're a little bit later to start, and, well, they're asking if it's hidden civs, but yes, hidden civs, because we want them to take hidden civs so that they're not sitting in the lobby counter-picking each other for a long time. But they should have their settings set in a minute and should be ready to go fairly shortly. So I'm looking forward to this. I think that both players are very formidable. Twigg at the moment has sort of been playing a lot more. You know, he's been around for a long time, but he's certainly sort of surfaced more recently, or has sort of made himself more known recently. Currently with a 1v1 rating of 2K3, 2,364 points on the 1v1 ladder. And ACCM, well, he's got 2,400 points on the 1v1 ladder. So they're pretty evenly sort of matched at the moment in terms of elo. And I've just realized I'm looking at the chat, and there is no chat, because I'm looking at the Vipers chat, because that's who we raided last time. And it would probably be a good idea if I look at our chat, so I can see who's actually in the chat room. So if I missed you, say hello again, and I won't miss you this time. Hey there, Tails. Yeah, now I see you. I didn't know you were there. I thought I'm just looking at this empty chat. I was like, nobody's here. What's going on? You know, it's over. There's no one cares. We're putting on these awesome show matches, and no one's even tuning in. But no, you are there. Hello, Weary Woot. Hello, Chenla, and Lou Roll as well. Elvis JX4. Welcome to you guys. And when normies get weekend free time, casters start to work. Exactly. We base ourselves. We sort of base our entire lives around you guys being available to watch at the weekends. So we give up our weekends to make your weekends better. Stop with the anti-hype. It's not anti-hype. I was just joking, man. This is going to be a great series. And both players well over 2K. And both players, I'm sure you couldn't be an Age of Empires fan without hearing of ACCM. And Twigg, I'm excited to see what he's capable of here. So they've launched the game. The first game will be starting very soon, and it's going to be a best of 9, so first to 5 wins. You can see here on your screen. Twigg should be on the top line, but it's going to be ACCM on the top line. Game 1 will be displaying the civs once it's sort of ended. And since they can't repeat civs, we will see hopefully a wide variety of civs here. Obviously, a lot of the civs we've seen before, but with different civ matchups, which makes things interesting. It seems that a lot of players have picked Chinese in Game 1 for quite a number of the series that we've done. I'm very curious to see if we'll see Chinese in Game 1 here. It's an interesting idea to take Chinese in Game 1. I think there's better civs out there, but it's kind of one of those civs. It's not too offensive. You can play with it. It's all good. But yeah, Bomb of Chernobyl Thank you for your service, sir. You're welcome. Hello, Mysterio. Hello, Snape Snaps. Long time no see. I'm here for Denari only. Well, I don't know if we have betting going, but if we do, you'll be credited with some Denari soon. It all depends on the guys in the office, whether or not they've had time or the inclination to set it up. But hopefully there will be some betting as well, Mysterio. If that's the only reason you're here, then we better make sure we keep you here, right? Thanks for your service, even if I am toxic sometimes. A moment of self-reflection from Chandler right there. It's alright, man. We all have moments of toxicity. I've said some things I probably shouldn't have said in my time. It's just a question of whether or not you acknowledge and realize it later on. But, you know, that's part of life, isn't it? We all make mistakes. And we all learn. Hopefully. Hi to new channel. Hey, Windthorn. I'm not sure what you mean by... Oh, I read that the wrong way round. You're new to the channel, not saying hi to us being the new channel. Hello, Windthorn. Welcome to the channel. I hope you're going to be able to stick around for the whole series today. Like I say, it will be a best of 9. Twigg and ACCM, both formidable players. And to be honest, 2 players which I am a little unfamiliar with when it comes to 1v1. I've seen a little bit of ACCM 1v1. I've not seen much Twigg 1v1, to be honest. But I have definitely seen a lot of ACCM in team games. In fact, it's funny really because it's very much human nature to remember the bad things before the good. But I remember a specific game in TV2. It was for a tournament called The Return of the King. It was a tournament that Escape hosted over a year and a half ago. It was a 2v2 tournament. And I remember that game distinctly. Backed in ACCM, we're on a team. And I can't exactly remember who they were playing against, but I do remember that they lost within 5 minutes because it was a regicide fortress game, and it was either Backed or ACCM who ran their king into an enemy castle, lost it, and then immediately resigned from the game after about 5 minutes, which was quite awesome. Not for them, of course, but for all of us people who could point, laugh, and enjoy the spectacular fuck-up that was running the king into the enemy castle. Don't do that. Don't do that. Leroy remembers that one. Leroy's been around for a while. New to the channel. Got back into AoE after almost 19 years out. Windthorn, that's a long while to be out, but we're glad you're back. And I want to welcome you and everyone else to our first game here between Twigg and ACCM. Or as I will undoubtedly say during this series, ACCCM, because... apparently 2 C's is not enough. Twigg then going to be spawning down to the south of the map. He's going to be starting with the Malians. And you know what? Before we continue, I should probably put my headset on so I can hear the game. I'm just sat here without the headset even on. But it would be useful if I can hear things. There we go. The sweet sound of town centers and villagers being born. But he is playing as the Malians here. And his opponent for this series will be spawning in the north of the map, and he'll be taking the red. He will be the Celts in game 1. So no Chinese, but Celts and Malians, 2 sort of traditionally infantry sort of civilizations. Of course, the Celts with their faster infantry movement speed, a strong drush potential from them, as well as men-at-arms, of course. Twigg, on the other hand, Malians, they get the extra pierce armor as they advance through the ages on their infantry. But that itself is not the sort of main advantage, I suppose, of the Malians. It's nice in some situations, but against the Celts, it's not the kind of bonus that will serve you all too well, unless for some reason the Celt player decides to go into ranged units, which isn't all too common. The Malians, however, arguably a better wood bonus. It's hard to really say. Both of these civs getting a strong wood bonus. Malians saving 15% on every building. ACCM, the Celts, chopping wood 20% faster. And I would argue that the bonuses over time might end up being negligible, like a negligible difference. But certainly in the early game, we would expect the Malians to take the bigger advantage of that saved wood compared to the extra wood gathered from ACCM. Interestingly as well, ACCM here starting with 4 villagers on the wood, which is conveniently placed behind his town center, along with his berries and gold. But Celts 4 on wood. That's a little bit more than you maybe normally. Normally you'd expect to see 3, even if a Drush or Man-at-Arms play was coming in. But in this case, going for 4, really indicating that Men-at-Arms or Drush is on the cards. Hard to say which just yet. Only 3 on wood for Twigg. And since I said earlier on, he saves a lot of resources. He only needs 3 to build the barracks nice and early. But look at ACCM here, trying to steal that boar. It does hit the scout a couple of times, and then he loses the interest. But he's going to try and drag that home, but he only hits it once the second time, and this is a massive fail for ACCM. Trying to steal it, but it does run back twice. And now his scout is at only 15 HP, 30 HP short of where it should be at. And of course, Twigg being very smart as to what was going on, seeing that boar being pulled through the fog of war, is going to make sure to get loom before attempting to pull that one home, especially since he's likely and will in fact take a downhill hit on this hill here. So you've got to be very careful of that, and getting loom is a really good way to prevent any sort of laming, or any further laming. So well played by Twigg there, responding nicely, and of course now has got a bit of HP advantage on his scout, which means that if anything does come to a Drush Man-at-Arms aggression, then Twigg should have the edge, in theory. In practice, we will see. But yeah, for now, let's have a look at the maps real quick, as ACCM is sending his first villager out to gold. Looks like he's got a relatively easy wall off across the front of his base, but unfortunately for ACCM, it is going to take the main stone to do it. It's not too bad. He does have a stone to the left side, which could end up getting denied later on. But he may want to wall out, including that stone in the wall there as well. So stone could be an issue for ACCM if Twigg does get aggressive later on. But with that wall off across the front, the right side's fairly easy to close. He's already started with these 2 houses. And that barracks has gone up there as well. We had Twigg's barracks also going up, but Twigg hasn't clicked up to the feudal age yet. He's going to do that right now, and then start queuing some militia as he sends a villager out to the gold. And he's going to actually go and take his second gold, technically, which is at the front of his base with his woodline. And Twigg's woodline, pretty bad. Oh, he's going to find a villager, though. And he's certainly going to be unafraid to try and kill her. He saw what ACCM was up to earlier on. He saw him trying to steal the boar, and Twigg knows it's okay to play dirty. ACCM has already set the precedent for this game, and he's going to get what he can. ACCM now doing loom, and Twigg won't find anything, but he definitely gave it a shot. But ACCM going for the earlier aggression, I think. Perhaps. Oh, wait, no, he's not. There, he is. Sorry, I was going to say I must be mad. He's definitely doing a drush, and I didn't see it in the barracks. I didn't also see it across the map. It was blending in with the cliff, but there it is. 3 militia coming forward now, but Twigg already prepared with 3 militia at home, and he's going to be up to the feudal age first as well, so this could go very well for Twigg if he's able to get the man-at-arms upgrade. They're actually going to pass each other in the cover of darkness. They will pass each other, and Twigg got to go straight between 2 wolves, and that was not the place to go. ACCM avoiding the wolf attack. Meanwhile, Twigg getting battered by a couple of wolves there, both of them like homing missiles, as he tries to sort of thread the needle through there, and ends up losing half health on one of those militia, so it does make a difference. I wanted to point out Twigg's base, his main gold is here. What the hell is this? His main gold is further away than his second gold, and it's in a really awkward position out to the right side. Of course, he's opting instead to go for the wood here, because this wood is a little bit easier to defend if he walls across the front here. But in comes the militia rather into the wood. That's not a wood line. It's the berry patch. Twigg, though, going to be content to fight with some vills, it seems. He takes down the scout immediately, and ACCM would be wise now to back off a little bit and then do man-at-arms before coming in again. Meanwhile, the man-at-arms for Twigg is in. He's going to be knocking away at that palisade wall, but a quick wall from ACCM behind it, and there you go. ACCM transitioning into archers. Twigg's going to be happy about that. That's the situation he wants to find himself in. Malians have better archers than the Celts, and his men-at-arms have the extra pierce armor. So if he can keep that aggression up, that's very good. And it seems like ACCM is not even doing the men-at-arms upgrade here, which is surprising to me, because I thought that getting the men-at-arms upgrade would be a really valuable upgrade for him, given that he sees there's a wood line here. given that he sees there's a berry patch here, and could very easily... There you go. He's doing it now. He's doing it now. Better late than never, as they say, but the archers from Twigg are already on the way out, and that man-at-arms upgrade, in my opinion, might be better served to be cancelled now that Twigg has 2 or 3 archers out on the field. It's going to be difficult to get too much done with them, especially since they're already at half health. It's also difficult for Twigg to get much done with his as well. He's actually going to find himself just battering away at that wall, but not really breaking in or making any progress. But yeah, it's going to be the case that these men-at-arms do get pushed back and picked away at by these archers. But remember, these are Celt men-at-arms, so they are a little bit speedier. You can't out-micro them the same way that you can regular men-at-arms. You can't hit and run them because they will close the gap. But they're so low now. Twigg should be able to keep these villagers alive, but he has got to bring the archers forward and make sure that these villagers get out. He may end up losing an archer here, but it looks like he's doing more than enough damage to keep those men-at-arms at bay. And I think in this situation, both players looking pretty even at the moment. Twigg, of course, with a couple more kills, but they're kills on units which aren't really going to be able to do much more for either player going forward into the feudal age. It's unlikely that Twigg is going to be able to get a whole lot done with these men-at-arms either. So if you count these men-at-arms as dead, which they may as well be, then it's 4 to 3 KD at the moment. But they're not dead, I guess. They can still act as a little bit of a fun sponge, I almost said. It's a little bit of an arrow sponge, a meat shield perhaps for the archers. That could allow Twigg to get a more favourable engagement a little bit later on. People in the chat asking about Capture Age. Well, Capture Age was, well, it's in beta, right? It's not a finished product yet. They're still developing it. And as part of the development, they decided to allow content creators to use it, but only one at a time, as they wanted to, you know, it's not rolled out yet. It's not publicly available. It's not made available to everyone yet. And what they're sort of trying to do, really, is to get the feedback and then improve it, and then do the next event and then improve it, and then do the next event and improve it, and then eventually they'll be at the point where they can release it to everyone to use. And I think they're getting to that point pretty quickly. It looks like ACCM is also getting to the point where he's going to lose a villager. I'm not really sure how, what, who, when, or why. It's weird. Like, he was gathering this deer outside the wall and then decided to build his blacksmith out here rather than as part of the wall. But ACCM here with a couple of skirmishes mixed in, and of course fletching, which Twigg doesn't have at this point, will be able to easily repel this aggression. And it has forced a tower out of ACCM on the left-hand side. I don't like that, to be honest. I think he didn't need to build a tower there. I could understand why. He's probably a bit cautious of the fact that, what if Twigg towers me? You know, that could be a problem. But I think he'd have plenty of time to react if Twigg did try to tower him. And I think the tower was really, in that situation, very unnecessary. Fire Nation, we're on the same page with that one. It's really, you know, it's an investment, right, that he probably didn't need to make, and that could set him back now when it comes to expanding in the Castle Age with extra TCs. Speaking of the Castle Age, Twigg will be up to the Castle Age much faster as well here. He is on 2 ranges, which is interesting because so is ACCM. So Twigg has made more military units. Sorry, ACCM are only just going up to 2, rather. So Twigg has made more military units, but he's also getting a faster castle time as well. Keep in mind, Twigg didn't do fletching. Twigg did not do padded archer armor. So he saved 200 food right there. And that's 200 food that if ACCM had, he probably would have advanced about a minute and a half ago already. So ACCM invested into these upgrades. He doesn't get anything done with them. And now Twigg is going to have a larger military count. And not only that, he's going to catch up in upgrades as well, with the advantage of being up to the Castle Age first, where arguably there is a much bigger power spike. Viga in the chat saying Twigg looking super strong today. Well, he's definitely off to a good start. I'd agree with you there. We'll see what he can do for the rest of the series. At the moment, he's adding in a stable, so there's definitely that potential to add knights in here as well, which is always potent if your opponent's making a mix of skirmisher and archer. And yeah, at the moment, both players very close in villager count. Twigg's about to catch up once the Castle Age upgrade comes in. As far as I can tell, neither player with Oh, hello. Rebuilding your lumber camps. Oh, yeah, both players, I imagine, here with wheelbarrow. I didn't check Twigg, but yeah, both players do have wheelbarrow in. So Twigg is just categorically ahead at this point, economically and militarily. And he's going to roll out right now and try and take full advantage of this power spike. Fortunately for ACCM, he is fully walled, but how long will his palisade stick walls last? We will see as he closes the gap to this army, and that army is surely doomed. ACCM will take down as many units as he can before he dies, but I think he only killed 2 there and lost about 6. So Twigg looking strong and also denies this wood line as well. It's going to be awkward for ACCM. It's not the end of the world. He does have wood lines at the back, which are pretty safe actually. So this front wood line, it's an inconvenience, but it's not too bad. He didn't lose any villagers, and wow, ACCM now busting out the stone walls, building up those 1,800 HP palisades made of stone to keep those pesky archers out. And I think he'll keep them out successfully for a while, at least until he has his own upgrades in. Bodkin arrow coming in for both, and of course crossbow. But Twigg with the numbers here at the moment, and ACCM is going to go out. I don't know if this is necessarily too wise. The numbers are close, but Twigg here is even doing +2 defense right now, and if he can work with the hill, that's going to be interesting. We'll see what the micro looks like for both players. This is the first demonstration of micro army control, which is, of course, so important in Age of Empires 2, and, of course, also quite difficult when you're both on the opposite sides of the planet, and there's about 300 millisecond delay. But at the moment, fairly even trades in that little scuffle, although overall Twigg is coming out ahead. He's going to cling on to this little hill here, try and bait ACCM off the high ground and onto the low ground. You got to love these little hillocks. And micro is cheat. Ah, man. Mr. Fire Nation. I know all about it, you know. You know, when you get to a certain point in Age of Empires 2 and your macro is pretty good and your build orders are pretty solid, and then you're losing games because you're just getting out microed because you're focusing on everything else too much. Yeah, I know that feeling. But, yeah, that's so important in Age 2. ACCM still has this covert man-at-arms behind enemy lines. A spy. So maybe he'll find something, you know? Story of your life, story of my life too. Far too many times I've had a group of crossbow get flattened by a mangonel, which, you know, really just shouldn't have happened. But it did happen. That's the difference between us and them.
Please. Food, please.
Alright, this is annoying me. Chat off. Don't even come in here and talk in my chat, Mr. Spectator. Twigg. Going to be adding a second TC. No third TC. Oh, sorry. A third TC already up, rather. I was going to say no third TC in sight, but I guess out of sight, out of mind. It's so far away. Really, really far out to this right-hand side. His eco is very spread out, and normally you wouldn't do this, but because he's safe behind walls, he's perfectly comfortable in doing just that. And he's also coming forward with some siege. We've got siege from both players. ACCM, see what his eco development's looking like. He's got a second TC, but this time I can say no third TC in sight and be correct about it. And now let's see what the mangonel fight looks like. Good little attack ground from Twigg. Both players trading evenly right now, but Twigg coming out slightly ahead there. We'll see if he gets picked off by this group of archers. He does get to shoot once, but only takes down a single skirmisher. That's not good enough. And a second mangonel from ACCM will send this army of Twigg packing. Now ACCM has the universities looking for ballistics here, and I don't know if you got it already. I may have missed that. But instead of the university, Twigg going for the third town center, looking at a more eco approach. We'll see if ACCM, that he didn't get ballistic. I didn't think so. He's going for ballistics now and then adding the third TC in. So we're going to see ACCM with that ballistics tech very soon. But Twigg adding in a second stable at the moment. And that's really going to bolster his military production. His numbers are going to be looking really healthy. And of course, he'll be easily able to pick off these mangonels if they lose their crossbow and skirmisher escort. Actually, he's still got a good number of skirms. I wonder if he's still queuing skirms at any point here. He's also adding spears. So ACCM has seen the stable. He's expecting the knights, but this is a mistake. Don't put your mangonel here. Okay. You did trade your mangonel for a skirmisher, but now there's 3 very angry knights coming to chase you down. And I don't think that mangonel is going to make it back to the pikes in time. Or maybe, it will, because Twig's actually giving up the chase. I'm shocked. I'm shocked. I'm in awe at the size of the mangonel. Jeez, I can't believe he let it get away. But I guess he's got bigger things to focus on, which is this raiding force right here on the TC. And he wants to make sure that mangonel goes down squarely. Nice little split. We'll be able to take that mangonel down, and now has 2 mangonels here to chase this army away. It's been quite back and forth, actually. You look at the kills, and it's even. You look at the eco, it's even. You look at the military, and Twig has just a small advantage. And that, of course, could all change around very quickly in Twig's favor if these knights manage to do their job. And I think, you know, I'd much rather have knights than have pike at this point. But with that said, ACCM is covering all bases right now. He's going for pikes at the moment, but he's also added a monastery and a second siege workshop. So ACCM is really going to be going for a lot of monks, a lot of pikes, and should be in a position, if he can convert the monks, to really turn this around. He obviously needs to well, actually, no, he doesn't really need to come back in military count. He's actually fine with military count. He has caught up a little bit. We will see, Mysterio, if we get to the Farimba Cav or the Shirtless Wodies. Time will tell. This raiding force on the right side, though, going to get cut down, and now I can safely say ACCM does need to catch up in military count, and I believe my Discord may have just made a noise, so I apologize for that. And I will make sure that is shut up. I don't know why it's making a noise. It shouldn't. But, yeah, maybe something got reset. I'm on a different PC than I usually am. So, we're going to see if Twig can do anything here. He's got a lot of knights, of course. But he's going to be cautious to push in with knights when there are monks and pikes there. He's also going to get a shot here and completely missed. So, looks like ACCM is going to be pushed right back here. The knights gonna try to get a couple of conversions, but there's a good number of knights in play, and with the crossbows behind, focusing down in theory on the pikemen, should be quite good for Twig, all things considered. He's still coming out ahead in KD at the moment, and he's taken out both of the monks before they could get that relic home as well, so he's not going to be taking advantage of the relic there for the time being. The forward university from Twig, I like it. That's my style. That's my man right there. He has to educate ACCM about his incoming loss. And what better way to do that than dropping a forward university? Just throw books at them. Arm the scholars. And you won't have any problems. Trust me. But ACCM, however, you know, he's holding on right now. It's not like it's completely one-sided here. Yes, it is going a little better for Twig. But economically, they're still really even. KD slightly favoring Twig, like I say, but there's now a castle coming up at the front of ACCM's base. And he's got everything he needs behind here. He's got all of his farms, he's got his second gold, he's got plenty of wood income. Although that might be taken away pretty soon if these archers get into this little nook right here. But ACCM, look at that, paying close attention. And doesn't lose a single villager. That's a good sign. That shows that ACCM is on the ball, even if it is midnight in Vietnam. So there you go. Dark Knight, thank you very much for the resub 3-month streak coming in. Welcome back, and thank you, of course, for that support. Really appreciate it. And you've not missed too much. We started late today, and this game is the first one of the series. So this is really going to be the sort of the benchmark for these guys, what they're capable of. ACCM going to beat Twig up to Imp here. But of course the transition for ACCM is perhaps a little bit more awkward. He's already started Wodie production. The Wode Raiders are going to be out on the field in no time. Meanwhile, Twig should be adding more stables, should be thinking about a castle of his own. There it is on the front of his base. And definitely looking at Farimba Cavalier here, as well as adding a 4 TC to the right side. Midnight in Vietnam sounds like a band name. Jesus, Aluka, is so good, actually. Why does that sound so good? That's actually like, it's almost poetic. God, I love it. Midnight in Vietnam. Well, there you go. If everything goes wrong and I don't have a job in some time in the future, there you go. I'm gonna start a band. I started playing the ukulele at well, I don't have a ukulele, but I got my hands on one and tried to play a song with it, and now I'm gonna buy one. So if anything goes wrong, my ukulele band, I'm gonna be a solo artist. I'm gonna be called Midnight in Vietnam. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna bring all the vibes. It's gonna be brilliant. Twigg, though, finding himself a little bit out of position there, does not want to fight 2 mangonels and a group of crossbow with a very small number of scams. Should, however, be getting the upgrades in fairly soon. He's got a solid stockpile of resources, but I feel like the focus this game has been too much on Twigg. ACCM is bringing it right back and bringing the fight to Twigg now. A quick split there, avoiding both of the mangonels was very good. But ACCM has got the elite Woad Raider coming out, and these guys, well, what do they do best? It says it in the name, Woad Raider. They want to raid. They want to go raid. And this right side is looking particularly tasty right now, since it's protected by, well, a pretty small army. And those Woad Raiders could easily come in and pick off the siege. ACCM, that was a mistake. I feel like you should have tried to avoid the mangonels, to be honest. And should have tried to get the Woad Raiders to deal with the mangoes. Meanwhile, he's doing a little run-by with those crossbow and sort of just throwing them away. I guess, what use are crossbow to the Celts in the Imperial Age anyway? Not much, especially since we've seen Twigg already going for elite skirmisher, but a quick peruse through his archery ranges, a little bit of window shopping in Twigg's base reveals his next master plan. The hand cannoneer coming out right now. He's got full defense upgrades, and these guys are ready to blast some shirtless guys in the face with some very, very makeshift cannons. God, ACCM though really doing a good job to kind of, I don't want to say come back, but to start to take back some control in this game. The Woad Raiders, though, not blinking in the face of these hand cannons. They're in too small numbers right now. And ACCM is quite comfortable to just pick them off while they're in small numbers. As well as building this forward castle here, right in range of that TC. That's a power move, if you ask me. That's ACCM throwing down the gauntlet and being like, yeah, come at me. I'm in this game. And if you want me out of it, you're going to have to do something about it. ACCM running in, though, could be a mistake. There are now cav units in here. The light cav from Twigg able to sort of tank a little bit at the front. We've also got some Gabeta coming out. Twigg going for a really varied army. And you can see on this right side a raid as well. Twigg taking up map control. This is looking really good. It looks like he's in a pretty good position to hold down the map control, the extra golds in particular, because he's about to come and raid this one again. And ACCM has not built a TC here. It's 2 mining camps and it's completely exposed. With that said, though, ACCM is also coming straight in here, looking to take down this TC and castle, but it's going to be hard. Twigg able to sit on top of his trebs with a good number of hand cannons. And ACCM, who's basically going full Woad Raider right now, doesn't want to go within 10 feet of that trebuchet. He wants to keep way back and out of range of these hand cannons. So ACCM challenged Twigg to come forward, challenged Twigg to take down his castle. And it looks like that challenge has been met. Twigg going to be taking that castle down, I believe. Although he does take down, or does lose rather, his trebuchet on the right-hand side. These Woad Raiders finding the weak spots. And I think that's exactly what ACCM has to do. He has to find the weak spots, just as Twigg is finding his weak spot over here. ACCM needs to get into his eco and start raiding with the Woad Raiders, because this is not his weak spot. This is not where you attack if you are ACCM right now. You avoid this at all costs, and you look for an alternative angle. And if he can get through this palisade wall, it's going to be super close. He's in! He is in! And those villagers will not be building that wall today. That is so good for ACCM. He needed that. And now he's into Twigg's eco. He'll find villagers all day. Twigg does lose his castle out here as well, actually, as well as the TC. Those rams coming in, really changing things around. And of course, ACCM doesn't really want to fight this, but he's going to do it anyway. And he may end up losing a lot of that army, or he may end up killing it all. Hard to say, really, because those hand cannons are doing some serious damage, but that's got to work well for ACCM. That has to work out well. He takes down the Treb and a couple of those bombard cannons, and right now, I think he's in a position where he is more than happy with this. I think bringing a lot of those hand cannons back definitely allowed him to make this push on the front happen. And now he's got great map control. They're both mining the stone over here, but ACCM is going to make sure that Twigg can't do that for much longer. And ACCM is getting straight onto the gold on that right-hand side as well, not delaying a second to hoover up those resources on the map and make them his own. On the right side, he's out of luck with that gold, but he's going to build the TC there now. And Twigg will get the gold out here for the time being, but I'm not sure for how long. Wodie's in the back, finding villager kills. That's exactly what he needs. Although ACCM at the moment does have less villagers than Twigg. They're actually very even on military count. And as good as this might look for ACCM, Twigg striking right back, raiding his farms as well, with Light Cav on the other side. And Twigg doesn't even have Farimba yet, implying that he'll even get it. But for some reason, ACCM, I don't know if you forgot how to garrison these units in the TC, but they're standing underneath it. And this one light cavalry has done so much damage, but at the same time, a breach in the wall here, and ACCM is in, doing far more damage than one light cavalry can ever dream of. That light cavalry lays in bed at night, and these Woad Raiders are the envy of that guy. Absolutely gutting out Twigg's eco here. Twigg will run back to the TC, but not before losing far too many. Far too many villagers. This light cav finally getting taken down. He has finally garrisoned the TC. And the TC wasn't full before. There was nothing in it. That's why it wasn't shooting back. So Twigg certainly behind now on villager count, but looking good with military count. The hand cannons, however, starting to sort of look a little bit thin in numbers as more and more light cavalry enter the mix for Twigg. ACCM with just so much map. It's looking good for him out here. And all he's doing is Woad Raiders. That's it. Woad Raiders. A couple of rams, a couple of trebs. And more Woad Raiders. And relic collection too. ACCM is making sure that even if he loses some map control, which, oof, he might just do. That castle may just go up. If Twigg's not paying attention, the castle will go up. That one villager, she's going to finish it. There you go. But making sure, of course, to collect up the relics so that even if he does get pushed back and does lose some map control, he'll have long-term gold income as well. The shirtless warriors really do stand in a league of their own. Look at them go. Fun fact, actually, you know the Celt Woad Raider shield? It's like the it's like an oval shape, or like a rectangle with rounded ends. I was reading on the news earlier that archaeologists have found in Scotland, they found a bark shield that had the same form as the later bronze shields that they made. The very famous bronze shields that they used to wield. Originally, they made them of bark, and that was the only one they've ever found. And they previously believed that they didn't use bark, but apparently they do. So you learn something new every day. Man, Age of Empires 2 used to inspire me so much. I used to love history just because of Age of Empires 2. But look at this fight right here. ACCM going straight for it, and he's just trying to overwhelm Twigg with pure numbers, it seems. And it's working. Just look at the military counts right there, getting right up in his face. And I guess the issue for these hand cannons is that Only 35 HP, 4 melee armor. They die in like 3 hits from these Woad Raiders. They have such high attack damage. And meanwhile, the hand cannon, although it does do 27 damage to a Woad Raider, it also takes 3 hits or more to kill a Woad Raider here. And the Woad Raiders also have to run in, of course, so they have to close the gap, but they're fast. And the hand cannon is quite inaccurate. So as soon as those Woad Raiders get up into the face of those hand cannons, they absolutely clean house. And I'm so perplexed at Twigg. I understand hand cannons. It's like, well, I'm against the Celts. He's going to make infantry. What counters infantry? Hand cannons. But I would have loved to see the Farimba Cavalier. It's a much more population efficient unit, I feel, and it can serve 2 purposes as well. It's a little faster, so it can react to the speed of the Woad Raiders, but it's also capable of raiding itself, unlike the hand cannon. And also, stats-wise, it is solid with the extra 5 attack from Farimba, plus 7 attack damage. Would have been able to work well, I think, in Twigg's favor. But no, he went for the hand cannon, something you don't see too often, actually. It was a nice attempt and a really strong first game from ACCM. He definitely had a game plan. He knew what he was doing. And Twigg looked really strong in the early game. But ACCM very quickly took back the map control. This castle, I'm surprised it's still standing. But there it is. And ACCM, once he got onto Woad Raiders, looked unstoppable. So let's come back out of this game. We're going to be going into Game 2 in just a moment because it has already been launched and the 1 minute 30 spec delay has started. Although ACCM has now left the game, so I think he dropped and we'll have to restore probably, or they'll restart the game here. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I'm just going to have my coffee because I didn't really get much to drink. I messaged Will on the way back from the airport today, and I said, Will, can you make me a coffee so that I can drink it when I get in, because I don't have much time? And he was like, sure, it's ready for you, man. It's ready for you. I'm like, oh, yes, I'm going to get my coffee when I get home. Excited for that. And then I got home really late, and of course, no time for coffee. So now is the time for coffee. Cheers, everyone. ACCM's Vivli and AOC crashed. Glad to see ACCM, or rather I'm not the only person with issues of crashing. That's very interesting as well. ACCM wins the contest. 50% of all bets and 46% of the pot. 50% of you bet on ACCM. Interesting stuff. Because that to me tells me that the chat is very split. You don't really know who to favor in this one. But we're going to immediately back straight out of the game here. And yeah, I'm going to shut up my Discord because that shouldn't be making noises. I'm just going to log out. Sorry for that. Hey, Newick. Welcome to the stream. Hello, hello. And hello to everyone else out there who's just tuning in or tuned in during the first game. We were saying hi. And look at that. EscapeAoE, number 1 in the betting right now. Almost believable that it's rigged. Is it? Who knows? If you want to bet, by the way, on the next game, betting will open in a few minutes. You'll be able to type !bet, then your option, ACCM or Twigg, followed by the number of points you would like to bet on that player. And once your bet is placed at the end of the game, you will either win or lose, of course. And the person with the most points at the end of the stream will be awarded a gift sub to the channel. So if you're the top better, if you manage to get the most points at the end of the series, we'll give you a free subscription to the channel. The Max versus Backed. Someone tell me the score. Well, I can't do that because we don't know the score, or I don't at least. And we don't want to have any spoilers here because we cast them all on Saturdays. For now, though, we have our best of 9 show match, so you can definitely stick around for that. But both players coming out with Celts and Malians in Game 1. Still many great civs left to choose, but I like the fact that they both went for the sort of, I guess, the infantry civs in the first game. I like that a lot. And it's kind of very different to what we saw with the Hero and Slam Showmatch, where they seemed to be avoiding those kind of civs at all costs, and they would every single pick in the Slam versus Hero Showmatch was like a cavalry civ from both players. They only wanted to make scouts, and that's kind of cool, right? Like, that's cool. Arabia lets you do that. It lets you pick civs which you can go scouts every game if you like, or you can go for men-at-arms every game if you like, or you could trush if you like. You've got all the options in the world, all thanks to Arabia being such a versatile map. But we are going in to game number 2 right now, and of course ACCM, as you can see on the scoreboard there, is leading. But we'll see if Twigg can catch up here in the second game. He's actually going to be spawning up to the northwest in the blue. He's going to be playing as the Aztecs. Well, there you go. Aztecs for the Twigg. And it's going to be a mirror because ACCM playing as the Aztecs to the northeast in the red. Oh boy, I've not seen an Aztec war in a long while, actually. And this is pretty cool. It's been so long. I just remember casting so many Aztec wars in my years. I sound old. I probably am old, but yeah, I really remember casting these back in the AOC days, before Wallow Kingdoms, before the expansions were even a thing. And they were hella popular, you know? They were really popular between top players, especially on Arabia too. And they're still, even after all the new civs and balance changes and all that jazz, they're still up there as one of the best Arabia civs going. But in an Aztec war, it's no good if you're the best Arabia civ going, because so is your opponent. So you just have to be better than them, and your civilization, in the end, doesn't really make too much difference. It's really how you play them and how you utilize them. Also depends a lot on your map, and I'll say, looking at the mini-map right here, looks like ACCM may have the better map generation. Now, his gold's forward, so we're going to have a look at this in more detail. This wood line here, this gold, and across the front of his base forms this like really big semicircle. But if he doesn't have access to his main gold, which is forward, and his 2 stones, which are forward, then this wall-off is practically useless. He has the 2nd and 3rd gold behind his base, but that's really far away and also really difficult to wall unless he was to sort of come over here and then go down here, and that's just absurd. So I actually think, at first glance on the minimap, ACCM's map looked great, especially with all these cliffs and stuff between the 2 players, but in actual fact, the resource placement kind of makes it not so great. And ACCM here will probably want to wall maybe further out a little bit. It's going to be difficult to see where he's going to wall this. Twigg, on the other hand, the front of his base is completely empty, and there's a lot of tree cover across the middle as well. But down to the south, that's where you'll find all of his gold. Main gold, 2nd gold, 3rd gold, all down to the south of his base. And this is going to be a really important area for him. When all 3 gold mines are in one spot, or on one screen, you definitely know that's going to be a point of contest later on, and you're definitely going to want to make sure to protect that flank at all costs. He does have stone in the back, though, which is very nice. If we were to see some kind of towers or anything like that, which, if anything, we'd maybe expect to see Twigg going for the towers. But Twigg here, going to be denying that boar. You see that boar right there? That's not going to be nice, and it may very well be that Twigg tries to steal it. He's not going to steal it just yet. He may still consider it. For now, though, he is just going to patrol and stick around and try and lame any villagers that go for it. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. We did see, we did see ACCM trying to lame Twigg earlier on in the first game. So Twigg maybe thinking, it's all above board. Anything goes. This time ACCM is going to make sure to bring his scout over so that they're busy fighting each other while he brings the boar home, and he'll get that home safely. But welcome to the stream, Project Belgium. Good to see you. Good to have you. Hey there, Reaper. I'll read your message in a second. I want to see if this scout from Twigg's going to go down. I don't think it will. He's building his barracks right now. He said, "Hey Zach, there was a content creator in the AoE2 scene back in the day called ZeroEmpires or something like that. He was famous for starting projects and never finished them. Do you know what happened to him?" To be honest, that doesn't ring a bell. Don't really recognize that name. Maybe it was before my time. I don't know. Could be. But definitely nothing to do with me. I don't know anything about that guy. You might be better off asking Robo. He might know something. But Twigg here, up to feudal, just a little bit faster, but one villager down. So as you might expect, things are fairly even at the moment, as an Aztec war usually does. But look at this, Twigg coming forward with the vills. I think this is good. He's going out to the stone, and this is really just going to capitalize on the fact that this stone is forward. The scout from ACCM saw it. He saw the vills, and he's now coming forward with his own vills as well. I think ACCM recognizes this. He should have seen it. There's a tower coming up here. Oh, it's not a tower, sorry. It's a house because he's not feudal yet. But he is bringing the villagers. He is fighting with everything he's got, because the last thing ACCM wants is for a tower to go up on his stone on this hill, creep forward onto his gold, come forward onto his wood line. That would just be an absolute disaster. So really preemptively bringing those villagers forward. And ACCM responding beautifully to it, to be honest. This is exactly what he needed to do. And it might cost him some villager time, but you know what? Twigg's losing villager time with these forward vills as well. And of course, he's invested into a mining camp, and he's got 2 villagers on stone at home. So this is absolutely fine for ACCM, but he has to make sure at all costs that a tower does not go up here from Twigg. Twigg at the moment doesn't have the wood to place a tower, so good luck with that. But men-at-arms coming in for ACCM. No men-at-arms for Twigg, it seems. Instead, going straight into an archery range and saving some gold. But there's the tower. I don't think that makes a lot of sense. There's the men-at-arms upgrade from Twigg coming in, but it's coming in a little bit late. You'd think that would be his #1 priority. Get men-at-arms in so that they can defend the construction of the tower. But no, it's coming in a little bit later, and now he's had to run all the way home. Meanwhile, he's also had to build the tower, delete it. He's got 272 stone, so his economy is a little bit mismacroed. And he's built the archery range, but he doesn't even have enough gold to build an archer at the moment, because you know what? If those 2 villages had been on stone a little bit earlier, maybe he would. Now it's the case of, well, shit, I got to build some defensive towers. And ACCM using those forward villagers to drop a tower here, which, well, I'm not a huge fan. It's okay. It ranges the farm. It forces a tower out of Twigg, but he knows that Twigg's going to be building towers anyway. And the thing that ACCM is going from at the moment, the best thing for ACCM is that he's got the larger number of men-at-arms, but what he can't do is fight this tower because it's in range of the TC. So, yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. I think ACCM might have been better served to send the villagers home and save himself a counter tower later on. And, of course, at the moment, there's same number of arrows being shot, but ACCM was actually firing, I think, at a house or at the barracks rather than at the tower. So he's actually losing the tower war here, and I don't like that. I think he would have been better served to save the stone himself and use it in an emergency. Because at the moment, he's going to struggle. He knows he's going to struggle to take the the stone on the front of his base. Maybe he goes there now, and maybe he starts mining it now, but maybe that was all unnecessary. Completely necessary to begin with. ACCM has found the gold, but what is he doing? The target is the villagers, not the mining camp. Look at the damage on the mining camp. That could have been a dead villager. 40 HP. And 723 on the mining guy. Come on. ACCM, that should have been a kill. And meanwhile, Twigg, he's finding damage. He's going to find the deer gatherers on this right-hand side. ACCM thought he was safe. No, he's not safe. Those villagers, however, you gotta love that pathfinding, right? You gotta love it. You gotta love it. They're running in. But no, they're not running in, because there's a deer in the way, and they can't shimmy past the deer. That ends up costing him a vill there. Could have been worse, to be honest, but it also cost him a house, which he had to delete. And we're going to turn that chat right off, because we don't need Ophelia AoE to tell us that the deer lamed the vill. We saw that with our own eyes. Feels bad to be ACCM though. That's unfortunate. Meanwhile, though, we've also got the addition of Eagle Scouts. This is where both players are really going to differentiate each other from each other. Twigg going for the archers, ACCM going for the Eagles. And Eagles with their 3 pierce armor here. He has done the pierce armor upgrade. Are going to be quite resilient as Twigg does not have fletching yet. He's also going to try and deny this watchtower here. And in fact, he could deny it with those men-at-arms. Twigg, in fact, will kill the mining camp as well, completely forcing Twigg off of gold. This is really good for ACCM because without gold, Twigg can't make archers, and without archers, he's going to have a hard time defending from eagles. He's going to rebuild the mining camp on the left-hand side instead. But yeah, that watchtower is going to go up, and that's going to be good for Twigg. He's going to really value taking that stone earlier on. The watchtower's at 96%. It should go up. There it is. And with that going up now, and with the TC and the other tower to cover it, I don't think ACCM is going to find much more damage in this particular location. But he will come back over to this gold mine. Unfortunately for ACCM, his Eagle Scouts are super low, and there's some army here, so it might be difficult for him to do too much more right now. Meanwhile, ACCM going for the tower on his stone. He will get that control of this stone for now. But I wonder if it would have been better if he just didn't, if he just avoided taking stone at all. And would be able to get up to the castle age a little faster due to having those 3 villagers on food, for instance, instead. Either way, both players at the moment looking like they are poised to go up toward castle. Wheelbarrow is in for both, and they'll continue to fight on this left-hand side. Twigg getting caught out a little bit by the army there. His 2 archers going down. But with the walls and the towers, I think it's very likely that Twigg will just transition up to castle here. And ACCM is going to be very much inclined to do the same thing. Interesting wall. Maybe here would have been shorter, better, but it doesn't really matter too much. He's closed. That's the most important thing. And even though his eco is a little bit mis-macroed, he could very easily, using his market, buy a little bit of food and go up to the castle age. Now we see a second barracks coming down for Twigg as well. And of course ACCM sees that. There it is, going up slowly. And he's going to be expecting Twigg to very much be going into Eagles. Although we could be surprised. We could see a long swordsman switch. That is totally reasonable. And it's going to be Twigg who goes up to the castle age first. That's quite good for Twigg, actually. I'm very surprised he's up first, in fact. It's very close, only about 10 to 12 seconds between them. But Twigg here going to try and get a tower up, a sneaky tower on the right-hand side. But what is this walling? You're supposed to wall the villagers in, not just wall for the sake of it. I mean, I'm not sure what was going on there. Twigg, that was such a fail. He's going to lose all those vills. And he didn't even wall them in. He built the palisades, but didn't... What? What was that? I'm very confused what that was. ACCM is going to be very happy with the fact that he has his front stone and completely thwarted that attempt at taking it back from him. Second barracks coming up for ACCM as well. Twigg now. Show me the money. That's right. Man-at-Arms coming in. That's what I wanted to see. And oh, I didn't notice this, but there was a tower on the wood line at the top as well. As well as a breach here. There's a lot going on in this game. All over the place. A lot happening. But ACCM has a smaller military count right now. And it's kind of misleading because you think Twigg has a little less. But it's because he's got these men-at-arms being built up inside of his barracks. We are going to see long swordsmen against eagle warriors. And I think in this case it's up to Twigg to be the aggressor. He's also going to show his hand right now to ACCM, who's going to run straight past him and see those see the man-at-arms, and he's going to see, well, they're definitely not the men-at-arms he made in the feudal age, so this is for sure going to be long swordsmen here. ACCM may respond with some archer units or a siege workshop, but for now, of course, he's going to go into eagle warriors. That's what he's been teching into for a while. And he's not going to sort of go off course right here. He's instead going to just commit to Eagles while the Long Swordsman is being researched by Twigg. And I think it's now Twigg's responsibility to find the pressure point in ACCM's wall and start to push it and hope that that's enough to bring ACCM home and keep ACCM out of his own base. The Long Swordsman should be more effective at breaking down buildings. Problem is ACCM is there first, and that palisade gate, that's going down faster than he can build it. So he's got to be very, very careful, and he's got to put his own pressure on in return. And oh wow, they're in. Well, there you go. It's all well and good having a palisade gate, but if your stupid villagers are going to stand in it and leave it open, then you've got a bigger problem on your hands. Damn it. Villagers, always the thorn in my side. And they're the thorn in Twigg's side as well, by the looks of things. Twigg, meanwhile, trying to put the pressure on the wall here, as he also tries to clean up the eagles at the back of his base. And to be honest, he should be fine now, because these eagles have got to come around this way, and there's tower and TC, so they should get cleaned up. But Twigg not committing to attacking the wall, it seems, and instead just going to be coming around the front side of ACCM's base, where he's going to meet some eagles and get a good trade. That's favorable for Twigg indeed. He's now 19-14 in this series. But I don't think this is the place to push. Maybe if he can stay out of range of the towers and he goes through... Oh, well, this is the place, it seems. This house, yeah. About that house. It wasn't built, was it? So there is a hole in the wall, and ACCM, unlike Twigg, can't really send the eagles back to fight this because they will die to the Long Swordsman. So he needs an answer now to these long swords. Meanwhile, you've got the siege workshop and the monastery on the front from ACCM. A little bit out of position to defend this. And Twigg's going to get his revenge. He's going to find some villagers in ACCM's economy. Which is a good thing for Twigg, you know. He's behind by 6 vills, so he's trying to balance the scales there just a little bit. He's only just adding in now a third TC. He's added a second one here. And his third TC is kind of forward. I'm not sure why he's built it there. I guess he wants to get some wood control. And that proves to be a really, really good idea from Twigg, because there is another tower coming up on this wood line here. Meanwhile, Twigg looking good, finding quite a lot of damage inside of ACCM's base, and looking for more villagers over here as well. This is perfect. No reaction from ACCM. He kills the vills, and now he can kill the towers if he likes. Although he may just be happy to take the vills and run, but, you know, why not take the tower? They die so quickly to longswords. Look at these guys go. So very quick, and without any villagers to garrison, they're not as much of a threat at all. They're only firing 1 arrow as opposed to 5. Twigg looking solid at the moment, that's for sure. But never underestimate the Aztecs and their ability to get to imp and do the eagle and start raiding. ACCM is a long way from that right now, but it might not be long before he finds an angle and pushes himself right in toward Twigg's base and starts raiding as well. Hey there, Tuha. Welcome to the stream. Thank you for tuning in. We're currently on game 2 in this best of 9 series, and it looks like Twigg might just be on the path to bring this one back to a 1-1. This is starting to get challenging on the front, though. There are monks for ACCM. There's 2 mangonels as well, and Twigg cannot sort of cave into that pressure. It's quite great, really. Both players are just sort of trading bases just a little bit. ACCM still ahead in eco, as always. It seems like this series so far has been ACCM leading in economy. We'll see what he can do with this mangonel at home. Maybe he'll add a scorpion as well. But the mangonel could do good damage against this infantry. He just needs to land the shots. And he'll probably need more than one, because one mangonel won't kill a long swordsman. Long swordsman 60 health, mangonel with 40 damage. They'll do 38 with the melee armor of the longswords. And meanwhile, this push here is looking kind of dangerous. Twigg has idle villagers in this TC, has no real way to push up this hill and stop this because the monks are threatening to convert up to 8 of his long swordsmen if he does go close to them. And the problem with long swordsmen is they're quite slow, so the monks have lots of time to get their conversions in as well. ACCM doing fervor and sanctity right now for the extra health, and fervor as well. Going to give him quite a good bit of extra health and movement speed now on these monks. There's a castle from Twigg. Now, I'm not sure about that. That's a risky castle right there. ACCM going to be going crazy to try and convert these guys. And, well, Twigg realizes he's no way he's getting that castle up. He's lost a TC. He's lost a castle. And meanwhile, he is inside of ACCM's base. He tore down that siege workshop. He killed the Mangonel. He's still here. This is a great game, actually. This is a great game. And ACCM, actually, I want to be sure. It looks like he lost the castle. He did lose it. It wasn't a deletion. Oh, wait, no. I think Twigg lost the castle as well. Let's just build... No, he didn't lose the castle. My bad. He did not lose the castle. He deleted it. I'm fairly certain he did. I was just looking at the wrong player's resources. But he might very well lose this second TC, however. And that is going to be a huge problem. And look at this as well. ACCM with 6 long swordsmen in his army. He is getting a lot of conversions out here. And this is turning into a true base race. Look at him go. Twigg bringing forward about 20 so villagers to drop a castle right in ACCM's face. What is ACCM going to do about that? His army's way out of position to stop it. And so ACCM has taken Twigg's main gold. He's taken away 2 of his TCs. And meanwhile, Twigg's like, well, I'm just going to take your gold and I'm going to take your TCs. I'm loving it. I am loving it. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a McDonald's fan. I'm legitimately enjoying this game. This is great. 2 very different approaches. Redemption now coming in so he can convert the siege as well. That's going to give him up to 60 HP on these monks, which is dangerous because that means they cannot be killed by Mangonels, for example. And now we'll see what he can do as he starts to push in here. Twigg's like, quick, batten down the hatches. We need some watchtowers up in here. Watchtowers can outrange the Mangonels, so it's a good defense mechanism. Meanwhile, he's going to continue to push forward, and my guess is that he's not in range of that TC, otherwise he'd be attacking it. Both players are actually screwed. That's the funny part about this. Economically, though, ACCM considerably ahead. 15 villager advantage for the Vietnamese player here. By that, I mean the Aztec player who is Vietnamese. As the Vietnamese are not in this game. The Civ, that is. But it looks like Twigg is sort of... He's making those plays. He's making those decisions that you make when you've got your back against the wall. And that's, okay, I'm going to make half of my economy gather from stone so I can drop another castle in ACCM's base. And I think that's going to be his goal now. Another castle somewhere. And what about the Imperial Age? That's probably quite far away for both players, but it's definitely looking feasible for ACCM. He is closing in on the required resources, as well as closing in on that town center and taking a fistful of arrows. He's pretty glad that his monks have now got double the HP of a standard monk, and they can just sort of, I don't know, throw sprinkles on each other. That's what it sounds like they're doing. The monk healing sound effect. It's what I imagine throwing sprinkles or confetti sounds like. And there you go, they're back up to full health. Siege Workshop here. Where's the next castle going, Twigg? Where's it going? I see Jaguar warriors. And I'm wondering why he's not gone for Bodkin Arrow to outrange this TC and take it down. But, oh, there it is. GG being called. And I thought Twigg might have a little bit more fight in him, to be honest. He is 1,000 points behind. But I guess he's probably thinking GG now because, well, his whole economy's been displaced. And now ACCM has switched into crossbows. You can micro down his long swords, but I don't think it's necessarily completely over at this point. Maybe he's still got a chance. I mean, he is about to put a castle on his main gold. I guess he's also being breached up in the north by those longswords that were converted. And there's still a large number of monks out. But I think if he'd have done another castle... I mean, just imagine if he'd have been able to get Bodkin, take down this TC, and then put another castle right here. Like, he would have killed so much of ACCM's economy, and he would have denied so much of that investment as well into farms and archery ranges if he'd have managed to get another castle up. But no, Twigg just calls it right there, and ACCM gets another point. Quite surprising in a way. I thought Twigg looked very strong once again in that game. ACCM sort of playing a lot more toward the standard meta and going for the Eagles, and Twigg trying to preemptively counter him, which is interesting because he did that in this first game as well. He preemptively made hand cannons to try and counter the Woad Raiders, and this game he preemptively made longswords to counter the Eagles. And it seems like Twigg's counters just aren't working out as well as he'd like, and it seems like the meta game is the meta game for a reason, and perhaps trying to counter them that early is maybe not the way to go. But it's early days. It's only a theme, I suppose, which has started in the first two games. But there's still many games to go. In fact, there's potentially 3 more, and that's assuming it's a 5-0 sweep, which I highly doubt. Twigg going to find something in this series, I'm sure. And we'll be going into game number 3 very shortly. RIP the Puntos. Yeah. Well, EscapeAoE. I feel like I'm talking to myself when I say that. Whoever is in the booth, probably Ham. You just got to be better, man. You just got to bet on the... You know, next time, just bet on the winner. It's very easy. Just bet on the winning player. I don't understand why it's so difficult. Yeah, Bogus, welcome to the stream. Life is good, winky face. That face is so weird. The winky, sticky, outy tongue face. It's a strange thing. I don't think I've ever seen anyone do that unironically in their life. You need to trim your beard. Well, I don't sit here to take fashion advice from you, Reaper. I sit here to cast AoE and look like a skater boy. So leave my beard alone. It's staying as it is. How old is Twigg? I don't know how old Twigg is, to be honest, Enzo. I actually don't know how old either of these players are, but I would assume older rather than younger, as most of the Age of Empires community is older rather than younger. We're all aging gentlemen and ladies. But I guess we're not all aging. I mean, Lyri is still young. But yeah, let's not get onto the topic of age. I don't want to feel old. Let's go into game 3 instead. How about that? Because spawning up to the north of the map in the blue, it is Twiggy. Twiggy was a pop star, right? Or was she a supermodel? I don't know. Either one of the two. I don't think Twigg is either of those. But he is definitely playing as the Chinese. And he is definitely playing against ACCM, who is playing in the red as the Mayans down here. Mayans versus Chinese. Well, there you go. Interesting. Game 1, we had 2 sort of infantry civs. Game 2, we had an Aztec mirror. And now in Game 3, we're going into a non-mirror again, but it's 2 archer civs. Chinese Mayans. And this is going to play out. This is going to be interesting. I like this civ matchup, right? Like, it's similar, but it's different. It's like it's the same, but not. It's the same man with a different hat. And that's the Chinese and the Mayans for you right there. But ACCM immediately coming forward to try and lame. And ACCM going to be going out to get that boar nice and early. That's early. That's a little earlier than you'd expect, in fact. And I guess he scouted that it was at the front. He recognized he was against the Mayans, or a Meso-Civ in general, and then said, you know what, I'm getting that boar before he can take it away from me. And it's a good job he did, because ACCM would have dragged that boar kicking and squealing all the way home. Man, it sounds like I'm about to do the "This Little Piggy Went to Market" nursery rhyme. I'm not, because he's not stealing the boar, so I'll save that for the next time. This one, however, this one is awful, and they've got up to 4 minutes to call a restart, but I don't know if Twigg is gonna do it. The boar is probably requiring loom, but that's fine because he's the Chinese. He has loom anyway. So it's an awful spot, and ACCM could have stolen it if he'd have found it, but he didn't see it. So it looks like Twigg will be able to get that boar home safely, but it is awkward. Of course, the gold here blocking the path between the wood lines, and he has to drag it all the way around. But, you know, both these sibs are going to be starting with loom, so any awkward boar positions aren't going to be the end of the world for either of them. ACCM actually just taking his first boar now, his second boar behind his base. Not even thinking about it just yet. You see the difference in play here by both of these guys reacting to the situation, the matchup. And Twigg going to take the time in this case to push the deer, which I think is really smart, although he's not having an easy time of it. He could have bought a couple of ills off berries and tried to get that before it ran back, but looks like he's going to give up on the whole deer luring idea. I guess it wasn't a good idea after all. And he will instead just take the one. And of course, I think he's doing that because he's very cautious of the fact that ACCM may do a drush, may do some men-at-arms, which is something that the Chinese need that little extra food boost to deal with. But look at that. Relic inaccessible to both of these players, which isn't the end of the world. The other four are accessible, but this one, nah, you're just going to have to look at it. And unfortunately, they never taught the monks how to do rock climbing. Those frail old men, not very good at scaling vertical cliff faces. So it looks like that relic will be going unclaimed for this game. But Twigg now going to get some scouting done. As we see on the minimap, ACCM starting to wall up, making sure to secure his gold, which is a little forward. And oh, nice try with the quick gate, ACCM. Nice try, I'll give you that. But that scout there going to slip on in and slither on back to ACCM's woodline. Admin Re, bugged map. Well, I don't think the fifth relic is going to really determine much, to be honest. Yeah, that's what the relic teleportation bug was for, Twist. Well, for those of you that don't know, once upon a time, you used to be able to teleport relics with a monk. It was a little bit cheaty. Not a little bit cheaty, a lot cheaty. You're not supposed to do that. But there was a really good example of a Chinese player, and I can't remember who it was, but there's a map called Atlantean Relics, and it's like Baltic. I mean, all maps are like Baltic, really, but it was like Baltic, and it had shallows in the middle with a bunch of relics on. And one of the players was teleporting the relics back to his monastery using the teleport bug, but that got fixed, so, you know, not possible to do that anymore, unfortunately. Well, I say unfortunately, like that was a good thing, but unfortunately for these players in this particular moment, I guess, but not really. Anyway, the militia are well and truly on the way out for ACCM, but Twigg is going to pip him to the post with the fuel age upgrade, going up just a little bit faster, and of course ACCM is going to scout this and see that that barracks is only just going up, so he's not in for any men-at-arms aggression. He's thoroughly expecting archers out of Twigg, and that's absolutely fine, because Twigg, by the looks of things, is going to have his... Oh, well, I say archers. It's a stable. I should have checked if he was on gold. I should have rather said if he was expecting archers or scouts. But either way, it's absolutely fine, because ACCM is only just leaving his base. And, yeah, it's going to be scouts, which is actually the more sensible opening anyway, because scouts is strong into archers. And so if Twigg comes out on top with the scouts here, then the early archers from ACCM aren't going to be particularly strong themselves. How is the bug done? Well, essentially what you used to do is you'd wall in the monks so they couldn't escape, and then you'd like task them to grab the relic, and then I think you'd spam the stop key or something, and if you did it fast enough, then the relic would just appear next to the monk. But I think you needed 2 monks to do it. I'm not sure exactly the details on how it was done. I'm pretty sure it required the monks to A, be stuck, and B, to be in a pair. But yeah, ACCM going to try and come in, and Twigg is going to be absolutely fine because he's well walled up. And he's going to look to counter-attack, no doubt. He doesn't want to fight these guys head-on. He'll wait until he transitions into archers for that. Instead, the counter-attack going to be heading across the map. And that counter-attack is going to be met by walls as well. There's not exactly a hole here for ACCM. Again, walling here, can't help but feel that would have been more efficient. But yeah, I don't know. Reaper, will I become UK's next Prime Minister? I don't know. I might have to run for office if Boris Johnson is going to be the next one up in line. We can't let that happen. We can't let Bojo take control. The country's already in ruin. Can't imagine what would happen if that guy, that nutter, got in the hot seat. But yeah, big news today. Let's not talk about politics. Now is not the time. Twigg. Again, like I say, going to be hit with those walls, and he's going to see the archery ranges, and of course, he's going to expect the archery ranges. There's nothing out of the ordinary here, but he also knows that those archers are kind of stuck right now. They can't really do much. Can't really go anywhere. It's a rainy day in ACCM's town, and those archers are watching the rain from inside their windows. Although I don't know if the Aztecs or the Mayans had glass. But if they did, they'd be watching the rain from inside of their windows. I'm pretty sure they didn't have glass. But yeah, they can't really go out because the scouts will easily pick them off. There is an archery range here for Twigg, and of course, transitioning into skirmishes, this tends to be just so much along the lines of the standard meta game that you would expect to see in this matchup, whether it's the Chinese or another civ. And for now, neither player getting a single kill so far. Both players on 32 villages. It is about as even can be. They had no glass. They had obsidian. Of course. I mean, why would they have glass when they had obsidian arrows? It makes no sense. They were using all of their glass production to make obsidian arrows, right? Mysterio? Yeah? Hey, Zavyatenka. Welcome to the stream. Well, Dark Knight also raises a good point. You can indeed have windows without glass, but it's not a very interesting window if it doesn't have glass in it. Not a very effective window, put it that way. It's a pretty holy window. Time for ACCM to put on some pressure. There's not been any unit kills, but there has been some buildings raised for both players. There we go. The first blood has been drawn. Twigg losing a skirmisher as he tries to defend here. That house, the only thing stopping ACCM from getting in, but it's giving his skirmishers plenty of opportunity to get some free shots in. And he equalizes things. Guys, it's even at 1 kill to 1 death. Twigg coming in from the back. And he's going to try and pick off those spearmen. If he can take those out of the picture, then the scouts could come in and try and pick off the archers. At the very least, Twigg can try and intercept some reinforcements and try and crack the enigma code that is this game and stop these guys from making it across the map. Doesn't look like ACCM is going to let them out, though. And in fact, he's being so smart about it, sending a spearman home so that they have an escort in a way, and that these scouts can be kept away. Really smart play by ACCM there. Twigg, though, up to the castle age. Nice and quick from Twiggy. And ACCM nearly able to click up to the castle age himself, but going to be about a minute behind, about 50 seconds behind. And that's going to give Twigg the opportunity to get a couple of knights out on the field. And in this matchup, knights are going to be pretty good because Twigg will have a good base of skirms as well. So knights, sort of skirm mixed in. going to be fairly reasonable. And as we know, knights are quite a bit stronger than eagle warriors as well. Although they obviously do also cost more resources. At the moment, though, pretty sort of a stalemate almost between the two players. I think Twigg here will check. He may have skipped wheelbarrow. I don't remember seeing it coming in, but I might have been wrong about that. Nope, he did do wheelbarrow. We'll see if ACCM has wheelbarrow. The answer to that is yes. Both players do have wheelbarrow. Twigg, however, 3 villas ahead. And he's going to be even training villagers a little bit faster as well. So Twigg looking pretty good economically at the moment. At least Skirmisher, of course, will be the first thing he's going for right here. So that he can repel that army. And then, of course, knight production will follow. So this could be pretty good for Twigg. ACCM is quite far forward on the map when he may be better advised to stay back. He will, however, find a villager on this wood line. He's going to be pretty happy with that. Who's your favorite Spice Girl? Posh, of course. Posh Spice. All the way. Twigg gonna find these guys, and they don't have the archers nearby, so that should be a cleanup for Twigg. He does need to, of course, focus on the spears, but Twigg's gonna be very happy with that. And these archers now caught out of, well, not caught out of position, because he does have to catch them, but they are certainly out of position far from home, and there are a number of knights and skirmishers chasing them down before the crossbow upgrade even comes in. He's going to be chasing them all the way home. And Twigg now feeling very good about this position. What's he going to follow this with, though? Is it going to be town centers? Will it be a forward siege workshop and some kind of forward aggression? I'd like to see that. But I think he'd be better served here off the back of this to add the 3rd TC. And make sure that he stays ahead economically as well. For now, though, we can see ACCM already added his 2nd TC, and his 3rd TC is going up as well. So Twigg, if he does come forward, could very easily pick off, well, I say easily, could have a very good opportunity to pick off this town center if he comes forward with some siege. For now, though, his 3rd TC does seem to be nowhere in sight, and there it is. It's coming up on the right-hand side. So although he was faster to the Castle Age, he's a little bit slower to add the 3rd town center in. This will give the ACCM maybe a little bit of a window to close the villager gap a little bit, although it is only a 4 villager difference, which is not too much of an advantage for Twigg at this stage. Only if he keeps that advantage for a long time will it start to add up. But here comes ACCM, and lacking quite a lot of upgrades, actually. He's only got +1 defense on the Eagles, doesn't have any attack upgrades, doesn't have any defense upgrades on the crossbow. Meanwhile, the Knights, +2 defense and +1 attack, as well as Bloodlines. And he's even got +1 defense on the ranged units as well. So Twigg's army looking very dangerous at the moment, and he's drawing these Eagle Warriors out of position far from these crossbows, and that's perfect for Twigg. He'll find himself getting a few free and easy kills right there. Twigg now keeping that pressure up quite nicely as ACCM reacts with a monastery. Desperate times, desperate measures. He needs some conversions on those knights, because ACCM just doesn't have the military production at the moment to be able to produce an army that's capable of taking this down. And at the very least, he doesn't have the upgrades either. So Twigg's going to keep piling on the pressure. And now, if anything, is the time. Add that forward siege workshop. Let's see the pressure coming into this TC here. And especially where this gold is as well. If he pushes him off this gold, ACCM is in trouble. His 2nd gold's out here. His 3rd gold is out here. Controlling this area of the map for Twigg would be very, very strong. But yeah, it doesn't seem like ACCM is going to be getting a good trade here at all. The Knights are a real problem, and, well, the Monks are a great solution to this, but they may be coming a little bit too late. He's also struggling to get the gold he needs to produce Monks. And at this point, having 1 Monk and getting 1 conversion is not enough to turn the tide of this battle. He's got far too many Knights on the field. We've also got a monk coming out for Twigg, and Twigg is going to produce his first monk before ACCM. Doesn't even see the monastery. But, oh no, I was wrong. He did produce a monk, but oh dear. Oh dear, oh dear. That monk did go down for free. That is a mistake from ACCM as well. Twigg definitely in the driver's seat right here as he completes that final Castle Age upgrade for those knights. And comes forward with some more vills. I'm expecting that forward siege workshop. That's what I want to see. Pressure this TC. It's such a great position to push. But of course, Twigg going to be very happy with his position at the moment. Ahead by 5 vills as well. A strong military. Bringing the knights back to heal them up with the monks. And continuing to add more monks as well. ACCM now doing university, and I'm surprised, really. I'm surprised Twig's let up the pressure. I feel like he was in a position to keep that pressure up, and instead he's just gone back, giving ACCM some breathing room as he regroups. But this is really, really strong from Twigg. I just think he needs to keep the pressure up rather than letting off, you know. You can tell that ACCM is in a little bit of trouble. Ooh. Gonna get that university up before having it denied. That was close. 1 HP on that Vill will go down. And once again, the Eagle Warriors are giving chase to these skirmishers in a very uncoordinated mess. And the skirmishers keeping group together. It's good army control from Twigg. Not so good army control from ACCM. Letting the army sort of run forward in a line like that. And there you go. The knight's going to come in. Find a couple of kills. The monk goes down. Does manage to get 1 conversion, however. So he's going to be okay with that. But now is the time for Twigg. This is Twigg's time to shine. This is going to be a big fight right there. But look at those Eagle Warriors dying off so quickly. Twigg with 51 kills to 19 deaths. It's a very strong KD at the moment for Twigg. Now, unfortunately for Twigg, converting Eagle Warriors is not nearly as easy or effective, or as effective as converting Knights. As we know, Eagles do have resistance to conversion, but he does manage to pick up 2 and keep his Knights alive. So, looking very good, as I said before, for Twigg. There is that forward siege workshop, though, and now a forward castle to follow up. I'm a big fan of that forward castle. That is going to deny the gold entirely. And, of course, the siege workshop producing some mangonels as well. So either a good mangonel shot into this army or pressure onto this TC. Either is fine with me. ACCM at the moment doesn't have enough stone for a castle of his own, but he's very close. He just bought 100 stone, in fact, so that he can get his own defensive castle up on the front. And this is why I say the earlier aggression, the earlier siege workshop could have been better, because once that castle goes up, there's no way that these mangonels will be able to pressure that town center there. In fact, he's going to lose the siege work, sorry, the mangonel anyway. Still quite good though for Twigg here. His castle goes up. He takes a lot of damage, or he does a lot of damage onto ACCM's army. And just look at that KD. It's insane. Nearly 80 kills to 30 deaths, and that castle's going to go up at 98%. It very nearly got denied, but Twigg now diving in deep, forcing those villagers to go idle. He's going to send the knights in as well. And he is so confident in this game, and he quite rightly should be confident in this game. He is on the way up to the Imperial Age off the back of this. And his knights are fully upgraded now in the heart of ACCM's economy, killing villagers and forcing a lot to go idle as well. ACCM, he is not up to the Imperial Age yet, and that castle may not be standing for much longer, because once Twigg hits Imp, you bet he's adding a treb. And he's going to be trebbing that castle down. And I say at the start of this game, you know, both these civs, archer civs, but boy do they play out differently. Twigg looking very strong in this matchup. So the castle's sort of exchanging arrow fire for now, but that is all going to change with the invention of the trebuchet. And you know, as I always say, once the trebs are popping, the castles are dropping. And ACCM's castle is certainly going to be dropping very soon. He's still not clicked up to Imp, and he won't be for a while. He is making a switch into Plumed Archer. I commend him for that. But it's not going to be very effective against Cavalier. And Twigg is almost certainly going for Cavalier. He'd be mad not to. It's a very population efficient unit for the Chinese. And of course, it trumps Plumed Archers every day. And there you go, GG called. Imperial Age comes in for Twigg. And that's enough to trigger ACCM to call the game right there, knowing full well what was coming next. A castle, making the Trebuchet, losing his own castle, and then, of course, the Cavalier, which we're about to follow as well, would have absolutely put an end to ACCM, whether he called it or not in that situation. So well played to Twigg. He does get the first point on the board. He does start to bring it back a little bit. And it's 2-1 to ACCM. Anything can happen. There's still a long way to go in this series, but it's nice to know that Twigg has the ability, has the capability to take a game from ACCM, who did come out the door swinging and looking very good in this series. Game 3 going the way of Twigg there. And Game 4 on the way very soon. Thanks for tuning in, guys. More games to come, of course. And the Rip Puntos messages in the chat just intensified. Let's see who the top 5 are. We can see the betting here if we type top points. There we go. Number 1, Lou Roll with 520 denarii. Snip Saps in second with 470. Then XX Morbum XX with 300. Tied, in fact, with Ziabinu and Virgo Pros. The irony being that 3rd, 4th, and 5th place didn't even place a bet. I'm pretty sure... there we go. Well, that was actually before. I apologize. That was before we actually updated the winner. So I was wrong. It's actually Turumbar94 in the lead with that 1,200. Lurol in second with 820. And then Snape Snaps in third with 470. And then the other guys with 300. You got to bet on the games if you want to win. Obviously, you could not bet and end the series with, you know, between 500 and 900 points. But I can guarantee that someone else would have more. And if you want to win, to get your hands on that free subscription prize, then you need to bet. So when the time comes, exclamation mark bet, followed by Twigg? I'm thinking Argentinian player, Twigg or ACCM, and then the number of points you would like to bet on that player. And like I say, the winner will get a free subscription to the channel. So don't miss out on that opportunity. In fact, our next game is going to be starting in just a moment here. We've got 50 seconds left on the spec delay. 20 seconds, in fact. And our next game is about to start. ACCM currently leading as we go into game number 4. It is 2-1 to our Vietnamese player. We'll see if Twigg can bring it back. Twigg here going to be spawning to the southeast of the map. He's playing in the blue as always. This time he's got the Celts. And he's going to take that Celt pick, which ACCM won with in the first game. ACCM going to be spawning to the southwest in the red. He's got the Mongols this time around. And we've seen a really diverse civ selection from ACCM. Of course, starting with the Celts, moving on to the Aztecs, then following up with the Mayans, and now going on to the Mongols, a bit more of a cavalry civ, which he hasn't played so far. Celts, of course, not really a cavalry civ, but if you want to bet on this match, do you think it's going to be Twigg with the Celts or ACCM with the Mongols? Now is the time to bet. Exclamation mark bet, followed by Twigg or ACCM, and then the number of points you would like to bet. But Twigg Going to be calling a restart here. And to be honest, I think it makes sense. Anyone can spot Twigg's wood line wins $100. Because he doesn't really have one, does he? Yeah, there's a wood line here, but that's awful. It's so far away. It's so hard to defend. He's got wood here, and then the other wood's in the middle of the map. So Twigg basically, without a wood line, is unable to play like that, I guess, and calls the restart. So he's used his rate before 4 minutes, and we'll rehost game number 4. Same civs, of course. So betting still stands, but you guys will have to bet without seeing much of the map. A lot of people were betting for ACCM, I noticed, but this time, since it's a re, the bets won't be refunded. They will still stand. I was betting on the map. Sure you were. Sure you were. That's why you bet after the re was called. Let's see if Twigg can get a better map here. It's a little bit, yeah, it's a little bit tough when you get a map like that. I mean, that's why we have restarts, because sometimes the map can just be awful. You can get this awful map generation. You have to deal with it. But if you have a restart, you can at least get to roll the dice again. Okay, so here we go. Game number 4, the restart. This time Twigg does have a wood line. I can see it. It's right here. He might also take this one as well, which is much better than his last generation. So he's going to be pretty happy with that. And he's going to be playing once again as the Celts to the northwest, while ACCM resides in the south in the red. He'll be playing as the Mongols. The map then for Twigg, looking much better, but not looking perfect by any stretch of the imagination. His gold's pretty far forward. Fortunately, a building here, a little bit of walling out here, could secure that gold quite nicely. But with it being at the front of his base, and with this second gold being at the front of his base as well, it's going to be difficult if ACCM pushes this to lock down gold control. He does have the gold to the south. He also has a lot of extra sheep out here, which he's scouted with his own sheep. That's great, isn't it? It's great when your sheep find your sheep for you. They've really, really done their job well. They've proved their worth. You can go collect those with his scout later on. On the other side, ACCM's gold, nicely tucked behind his town centre, and decent wood lines as well. I like ACCM's map. This is very, very viable, very playable map, which, you know, on Arabia you can't always guarantee. His gold and, second gold, stone and berries, however, a little bit exposed on the north side. Could be a point for Twigg to contest. But yeah, Fire Nation wanted to ask, where are your latest Instagram stories from? You've been traveling. Yeah, I actually just got back from Germany today. I was in Heidelberg, and I returned home about 2.5 hours before this Showmatch started. And then I drove home from the airport, picked up the guys, drove to the studio, and off we go. We're back to work. So that was my weekend in Germany. It was nice. Had some lovely German Weiss beer, which is some of my favorite beer, and enjoyed my time there in the sun because it was lovely and sunny. I got to sit outside. There's nothing better than sitting outside with a nice cold Weiss beer in the sun. It's glorious. That's how I'd spend my afternoon every day if I had the option to. Not because I'm an alcoholic. That's not what I'm getting at. It's the sun. That's what I'm out there for. But yeah, ACCM here. You'd think that's an interesting mill location. It doesn't seem all too effective. Why didn't he build it on the other side, where he could wall the villagers in, or, you know, take the berries more effectively instead of having to walk further when these close berries get taken? Well, I can tell you why ACCM built the mill there, because it's on the TC side. Later on, you need to wall around. It's not wall around, mill around, farm around your mill. Third time's a charm. And if your mill's on the other side, your villages are further away from safety. Your mill's a bit further away from your TC. Might be a little bit exposed. So he's milled on the south side, so it's close to the TC. The villagers can get back if they need to as well, without being trapped between the mill and the berries. All the Germans are revealing themselves. Oh yes, well, there's a lot of Germans in the Age of Empires community. You gotta love it. The Germans are everywhere in the Age community. And I remember going to NAC2 and seeing the huge turnout there in Hamburg. Obviously, most of which were German because, it's in Hamburg. It makes sense. But why was it in Hamburg? Because Nilly is also German, and all the fans are German, and everyone's German, and yeah, it's great. You guys are big supporters of the game. I mean, obviously not everyone's German, but there's definitely a lot of Germans out there. And I've known that for a long time because when I used to look at my YouTube stats, it was always like 18% of the viewers were from Germany. It's only Jordan 23. Well, it's funny, Goofy, isn't it, really? Like, there's a lot of German viewership. There's a lot of UK viewership as well. And there's even more US viewership. But tell me, name one pro AoE2 player from the United States of America. I'll wait. I'll be waiting until I'm old and grey because I don't think it's happening anytime soon. Oh yeah, Spring. When was the last time Spring won a major tournament? I can't remember. But it's kind of weird. It's like USA has the largest player base, and they have no expert players. It's weird. Or very few compared to their population size. Melkor doesn't count. He's Irish. It's like saying Viper is German now because he's moving to Germany, so therefore the best player in the world is now German. Doesn't work that way. Viper's still Norwegian, even if he goes to live in Germany. Look at this sneaky move from Twigg, though. Coming in. Stealing a sheep. Yeah. Well, you guys can... Of course, you guys are going to adopt Viper. I mean, you'd be mad not to, right? I'd adopt Viper as English if he moved to the UK. For sure. Look at that sneaky sheep getting away. Look at it. Man-at-Arms now coming in for Twigg. And it's been a very straightforward game so far. We just saw the stable going up for ACCM, going up with low population, adding in scouts, and Twigg, of course, going for the man-at-arms and coming forward with a spearman. They're going to see each other, and ACCM is going to come back. Interesting. I thought he'd go for the counter-attack. He could counter-attack. Twigg isn't completely walled. He's walled in the gold villagers, but... could find a villager on the wood line at the back. And it's actually going to be Twigg who turns around to try and defend. Who would be so mad as to move to Britain in this time and age? Good question, Weber. You have to break the news to Robo soon. He just moved here from Australia. And Ham, I guess, well, Ham is English. He is British. But he was living in Portugal and now came back to the UK. I guess we'll have to break the news to him as well. Can you name me one sport the Brits invented and still belong to the cricket? There you go. Easy answer, Reaper. Cricket. We're still good at cricket, I think. But no one cares about cricket. It's so boring. Oh my goodness. It's the worst. I mean... The world can thank us for a few things, but cricket is not one of those things. Well, yeah, Indians are very good at cricket, but I think we're still there. We're still in there's not many teams in cricket. Okay, what about rugby? We're okay at rugby, and I would say we're good at football, but we're not because there's not really many English players in football. It's more just English teams with players who are of different nationalities. Yeah, I don't know enough about cricket to comment on that. Football's coming home. Get out of here. Come on. We actually at the last World Cup we really believed we had a chance. There was a glimmer of hope, and then of course there was no hope. We knew really that we'd fooled ourselves. Darts, yeah, we're okay at darts, but there's some very good Dutch dart players as well out there. Look at that. ACCM cleaning up Twigg's army. But Twigg certainly bought himself enough time to wall up here. And with the walls in place, he can safely do wheelbarrow. He can build his stable behind his walls. And he can buy himself a little bit of time. But it seems like he's still going to be forced to build a watchtower. So all in all, that did go very well for ACCM. The results of this working out good for ACCM in this one. Daniel is from USA, yeah, but Daniel is also not... I mean, he's a good player, don't get me wrong, but he's not been in this top tier for very long, and he's still not really had a tournament where he's proven himself, so until that happens, it doesn't matter what your rating says. You're not an expert pro. Well, pro is a really subjective term, but you have to prove yourself in tournament combat, not just on the ladder, in order for just to make a name for yourself. Let's say, I mean, there's a reason everyone says Viper's the best player in the world. It's not because he's top 50 on the ladder, because he's certainly not at the top right now. But it's because of his tournament track record. That's what really matters. That's what people look at. That's what people count. Is Twigg able to push this back a little bit with the addition of those scouts? And they're all in all even on KD right now. He's going to rebuild that palisade gate, but of course having to build that watchtower in defense, not the kind of thing that Twigg was hoping to have to do. And ACCM still with very good map presence, pushing forward with a lot of archers. I'm also wondering about the castle upgrade. I think, yeah, Twigg is going to be way ahead on that castle age upgrade. But ZeroEmpires, how is he so fast? He's made scouts late feudal. Then surely he can't be up before Twigg, before ACCM, who's making archers. Well, yes, he can. Of course he can. He has wheelbarrow, and he has it's 19 farms against 12 right now for Twigg. So he absolutely can get that castle age upgrade in, and ACCM will get it up soon as well. But Twigg will be able to push out and maybe find some villager kills with these scouts in the meantime. He's going to go straight into that wood line, which got walled up very quick. And they're going to try and find a stone as well, but that's also being walled up pretty quick. Is ACCM going for a castle here? Well, he might. He's a little way from the castle age yet. Oh no, Twigg. Oh no. Oh, Twigg. Oh. Okay, well, I guess he's distracted by this breach because he just threw away a few too many scouts in the back of his base there. That was painful. And now it's ACCM's turn to try and do some damage. Looks like he might find a villager in the woodline, but at the very least, these villagers are going to get pushed back toward the TC. Good trade for ACCM. That worked out in his favor there, as Twigg ends up once again running straight into the spearman. That goes poke, poke, and both of those scouts die. So it feels bad, man. But Cadia T. West, Travis, thank you very much for the resub. 29 months. That is one heckin' long subscription time. 29 months, jeez. We're approaching the 3-year mark. That's pretty cool. It's kind of crazy to think we've been doing Escape for 3 years, though. That's kind of crazy. But thank you for the support, as always. And here we go. Castle Age is in for Twigg. The night production has started, and similar to his first game, it looks like we're going to be seeing that combination of knights and skirmishers. Or was that the third game? I don't know. I'm losing track of time and games. 3 years of procrastinating to AoE2. Well, you got to procrastinate to something. I'd rather you procrastinated to AoE2 than anything else. Is AoE going to be at Gamescom this year in any form? I'd be very surprised if it wasn't. Although I have no idea what form it might be at Gamescom. 2 years ago at Gamescom, they announced the definitive editions. And they even had AoE 1 definitive edition to play as well. So it's likely that, you know, after 2 years and skipping Gamescom last year, they'll have something, I imagine. There's also E3 coming up, which they'll probably have something to talk about there as well. It's been such a long while since we've heard anything from Microsoft regarding Definitive Edition or Age of Empires 4. It only makes sense that there's going to be something this year. I mean, they can't leave it for 3 years without saying a word. And if they do, I'd just be shocked. But time will tell. We'll have to wait and see. But all eyes on E3 and Gamescom this year, that's for sure. ACCM now actually going into camels, which is a really nice adaptation to the knights from Twigg. We all know that the Celts don't get the best knights, so camels, not only are they obviously unique to the Mongols, but they're unique to the Mongols in this game. Obviously the Celts can't trade camels. They also have the opportunity to get bloodlines if they wish to get it as well. So we'll see if the camel raid can do something. But here's the castle. ACCM was saving for this for a while, and he's going to drop that right on the front here. And this is going to be very good for him. Like I said at the start of this game, the gold is in an awkward position for Twigg. One to the left, one to the right. And ACCM in the middle going straight for the main gold as well, which if he gets pushed off of that, he is in big trouble. It also covers the stone. It allows them to push down this tower, break down the walls. And meanwhile, Twigg trying to get in with those 4 knights, just being met with a blockade time after time. So it looks like ACCM is in a strong position right now. And that castle could do some serious damage to Twigg. Twigg's going to be forced to build another tower in defense now as well. And remember, when ACCM was playing as the Celts, it didn't look great for him in the early game, but it was precisely at this point that ACCM started coming forward with castles, started producing Woad Raiders. And in this matchup, Twigg, instead going for some knights, doesn't have much map control, doesn't have the ability to come forward and build a forward castle or anything like that. At the moment, he doesn't even have any stone income, as he was pushed away from stone by that castle drop. So the castle's in, and ACCM now doing a good job on the left side. I kind of missed that, but he took down a few knights. That's the lack of bloodlines and +2 defense right there. Those knights, 4 of them going down, not a single crossbow. They just don't get close, look. And Twigg's in a bit of trouble here. Twigg is in a well, I say a bit of trouble. He's in a lot of trouble, actually. He really needs to get some infantry out, like something that can deal with the camels, but at the same time not die horrendously to all of the crossbows. So that's why he's continuing to make these skirmishes, but they're really only good defensively. You can't really push out with them and do significant damage because, well, there's knights on the map for ACCM as well. ACCM without a single upgrade on those camels, actually, but it's fine. He doesn't really need them. It's Twigg who needs the upgrades. And ACCM is more than happy to send his unupgraded camels in towards skirmishes. That is not something he is afraid of doing. Oh, we may see a conversion here on the camel though, but nope. That's going to get sniped very quickly by the crossbow. That single scorpion though, trying to utilize the fact that there's just a very narrow passageway here, but does end up getting taken out as it's tasked to attack these guys and ends up coming a little bit too far forward out of position. So Twigg right now, very much on the back foot, very much stuck inside of his base. No stone income. Housed There's a lot of problems at the moment for Twigg, and even the Mangudai now coming out, which is going to cause even more of an issue, as the Mangudai will be able to take down any siege that Twigg makes very quickly as well. So Twigg may be looking for a faster Imperial time, but his eco is a little bit off at the moment too. He's got way too much wood, for example. Probably should sell it. There you go. Selling it right there as I said it. Actually buying some stone right now. It looks like he wants to go for another TC. There it is on the right-hand side. At the same time, throwing away a lot of units to this castle from ACCM, and I think ACCM is going to build another forward castle soon and really just increase the stranglehold that he has got Twigg in. All the while, by the way, just one TC for ACCM. He's only just adding in another town center now. And it's very late. Oh, sorry, this third TC also. But it's quite late to add those TCs. And I guess that came as a result of prioritizing the castle on the front. And interestingly, ACCM actually has less villagers than Twigg at the moment. Until he gets in and kills some of those villagers from Twigg, Twigg will stay ahead on his 3 TCs. Twigg holding on for now. But a second castle surely will come up soon for ACCM, probably on this left-hand side. Among the Hidden leaked some AoE 4 gameplay footage. I saw that video, Crummy. I was very surprised, to be honest. I didn't expect what he leaked. I really didn't think they would take that direction. But everyone knows Among the Hidden is rubbing shoulders with all the top dogs at Microsoft. Alright, there's that second castle. It's not going to come up on the left side. I thought here would be a good spot, denying the gold, but on the right side is even better. Not only does it deny the gold, but it also denies the TC, which Twigg has lovingly built there to try and defend that precious gold. But his precious gold this time around is going to be taken away from him unless he can stop this castle from going up. This castle is at 51%, and that mangonel is distracting a lot of the arrow fire from those skirmishers, doing a lot of damage, and well, there's just no way that Twigg stops that castle from going up, is there? It is well and truly going to be completed, and there's not a lot that Twigg can do about it. He tried, he reacted, but his army composition just was not good enough to take that engagement. So the castle's up, the house will go down, maybe the monastery will go down here, and then the TC will be next up. And Twigg, again, going to be in trouble when it comes to gold collection. He is, however, very close to the Imperial Age. He does still have more eco than ACCM, but the Imperial Age upgrade is going to be coming in very soon for Twigg. And I do wonder if that's going to make much difference. The problem is he doesn't have a castle. What difference will the Imperial Age upgrade really make for him? What's he going to be able to afford once he gets there? How is he going to take down these castles without a castle and some trebuchets of his own? All of those things need answering. All those things are not straightforward at all for Twigg to answer. ACCM doing a good job with this mangonel as well. Like, even if the mangonel's not killing too many units, which it does. Oh, what a beautiful shot right there. Catching them as they're running uphill. That was really nice. And I think, in fact, the mangonel did full damage because it died before the shot actually hit. So that uphill hit wasn't technically uphill at all. It was a regular hit. And the mangonel manages to flatten a whole heap of skirmishers right there. But yes, Twigg will lose this TC out on this right-hand side. And the Mangudai will continue to raid. Light cavalry will be researched. And Twigg is about to hit up to the Imperial, click up to the Imperial Age. But I don't think that's enough. I mean, what does being in the Imperial Age bring him? He definitely needs to take the map control back quickly. And Twigg has no castle. He could make some siege. He could perhaps start making rams. It looks like that is going to be on the cards, but that's going to be difficult as well. As we know, ACCM is going for Mangudai. Mangudai have an attack bonus versus Siege. And so it's going to be tough. Trying to push up the hill. Ends up losing the Mangonel, but doesn't want to sit there and take that damage from the skirms. So it looks like Twigg may just have a castle up in time for the Imperial Age upgrade. Adding another TC as well. Mangudai seems so strong. They are strong. Compare the stats. They have 80 HP compared to 35. They have 6 attack against 3. And they have no armor. But the advantage of the Mangudai is that they are mounted, they attack faster, and of course, they have an attack bonus versus Siege as well. On this left-hand side, ACCM looked like he wants to start raiding a little bit with like light cav or something. And Twigg may not be ready for that. He's only really got skirms to defend this left-hand side, so light cav in there could be pretty big. And as we know, the Mongols also get the advanced light cav. Well, I say advanced, but they get extra HP on their light cav, giving them a pretty good shot at taking out a lot of skirmishers before they die. And I think Twigg's really on his last legs. ACCM, no trebuchet being built yet because he's not in the Imperial Age. Twigg does have a treb coming in, and he may force ACCM to run up here and attack the treb. That'd be pretty good, actually. It might allow him to take out some Mangudai numbers, thin them out a little bit with his castle, because it's so important that you keep as many of those Mangudai alive as possible. But Twigg, well, he's calling GG right there. He's not going to wait. He's not going to sort of see if he can do any more damage. He's just going to call it. There didn't seem to be a particular moment that caused that GG. I mean, other than the fact that he's obviously behind, but he's been behind for a while and he didn't call GG earlier. So I'm wondering exactly what it was that tipped him over the edge. Maybe he just saw how many Mangudai there were. Maybe it was just the Imperial Age coming in for ACCM. But whatever it was, he certainly wasn't confident in his ability to pull that game back and claw his way to victory. So ACCM going to pull ahead a little bit further now. It's 3-1 to ACCM as we go into the 5th game in just a moment. I will be right back. I'm going to take a quick bathroom break, and when I return, we'll have Game 5 going very, very soon. Alrighty, so we are back, and just in time as well by the looks of things, because the spectator delay has just ended, and we are actually about to go into game number 5, so it was the perfect timing. And you know what we're going to do? This game, we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to do something which I really enjoy doing, but I don't do very often because, I don't know, I feel like people really want to see both sides of the story. However, we are only going to watch one player's point of view, and that player can be decided by chat. I will overview both of the maps and things, but once the bets are in, I want to know who has the most bets, and then we'll watch that player. Whoever is bet the most on, will watch that player's point of view only for the game and try and analyze what they're doing and why they might be doing it to get a bit more insight, I suppose. So, sporting up to the north of the map in the blue is Twigg. He's got the Mayans for this one. And then down to the south of the map in the red, ACCM has taken the Slavs. And that's nice, actually. That is nice. Mayans, I've got to say, underwhelming results in these show matches so far. I distinctly remember last week seeing the Mayans losing twice in 2 different games. And this week, we've already seen ACCM lose with the Mayans. In fact, it was the only civ that he has lost with so far. And this time he's taken the Slavs, which, as we know, have this absolutely absurd farming bonus. We're going to look at ACCM's point of view. He should have seen that boar being stolen if he was paying attention. And Will's just bought me a coffee, which is brilliant. I am tired today. I've been on 2 trains, 2 buses, a plane, and I've been in the car for an hour and a half as well. So it's been a lot of traveling today, and I'm feeling the results of that. But yeah, ACCM is going to be heading across the map to try and scout that boar steal, but he's not going to do anything to stop it by the looks of things, as Twigg is going to be pulling that one home. But yeah, in 1 minute I'll be able to see who's winning the betting, and I will go ahead and switch on the fog of war. So I guess I better be quick and look at the maps. So real quick, just to get an idea of Twigg's map. He's got gold at the front, and he's walled it in already thanks to this wood line covering the majority of the front of his base. And fortunately for Twigg, he's also got a back wood line as well as the forage and the stone. It's all back here. Even the not the berries, the deer are close to the berries, I'm trying to say. Looks like a really wallable map for him if he closes this left side out. ACCM, on the other hand, berries a little more forward. Gold in the back, really quite good back resources. Wood back here, but yeah, I'm not a huge fan of his wood line. It's kind of far away, and the front of his base is very open as well. But you guys think that ACCM with the Slavs is going to win? The betting ends in 4, 3, 2, 1. It's closed. ACCM wins, and the fog of war is going on. So let's see what ACCM can see. We're going to look at his scout first of all. It's on half health. I think he ran into the TC earlier on. But he sees that boar there from Twigg, and he might be considering some kind of attempt at a lame. Now, it's kind of hard because he knows the Mayans will have the loom upgrade done, and his scout is less than half health, so he can't kill the villager. But he could try and block it, or at the very least see what Twigg is up to. He'll see the barracks going down, for example, and he will also come back over here to try and keep a close eye on that boar, and maybe, just maybe, run close to the TC and have some arrows fired at him. But he's pretty certain the TC is here. You can tell by the stragglers on either side. You can tell by this little leave terrain on the floor. You know the TC is here, and he can safely run back here for now. And he is keeping a close eye on that boar as he goes up to the feudal age. He's also stolen away a sheep on the left-hand side. He should be able to bring that home. And he's got 5 vills out on the wood right now, but he's going to be sending more villagers out to wood very soon. He also sees the scout from Twigg on half health as his own scout is going to loop around the back, checking the stone, finding the lumber line, and in ACCM's position right now, he's seen everything he needs to see. He sees every resource, and that's really important. He also sees the barracks on the right-hand side, knowing then this is going to be closed off on this left side. So a few lages up, but Twigg, as we can see, isn't up yet. And Twigg's score is quite high. So ACCM is probably anticipating some kind of drush action from Twigg. We may be expecting to see some militia coming out across the map. He's watching the gold, though, and he sees this gold pile here, 791 gold taken. By clicking on that gold, he knows that there is a drush on the way, and he sees that this Eagle Scout's coming in, and might be a good idea now to wall the berries in to start. There it is, right there, the drush coming through the fog, and he should be able to wall them out, and might even decide to fight with villagers, actually, as well. He's going to throw down his stable there and go forward with 3 vills. Where's he going to place a tower? Well, the left side of this wood line could be a little bit far away. He might be tempted to go there. He may be tempted to go here, however, and try and deny both of the gold piles. But those 3 vills are coming forward one way or the other. He also sees the wood line here, as well as the villagers going out to gold now. Going to wall in his wood line at the back. And usually the best defense to a drush is just that, walling in. And there you go. He's going to wall up, tower up on the wall there, denying the gold, which is part of the wall, and may potentially be able to prevent any walling, because he does have his scout on the inside as well. So using his scout here, he's going to be able to delay the house builder just a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Unfortunately for ACCM, his scout is just too low, and that tower's going to go up, but Twigg, of course, has scouted it, and that tower now, he'll be able to attack the house. He'll be able to get through the wall eventually, and he will indeed find a villager kill as well. 1 HP on his scout. Oh, that scout's so dreamy, getting his way. Now, maybe, just maybe, he'll break through and follow up with a second tower in range of the first, denying that goal. But you can see there is a tower coming up from Twigg through the fog of war. And there's not going to be a lot that ACCM can do to stop that. He's just got to break through these walls. And at the moment, you know, it's taken him a while to do that. It takes as long as it takes, right? You can only batter it down with so many units. At the same time, though, his villagers at the back being scouted out. Those men-at-arms are going to find themselves at least 1 kill. And I think they're going to double back and try and secure this one. Or you'd think they would. The Eagle Scout should be the one to secure it, but he's not going to get that kill. He's going to bottle it, and ACCM will react in time. Nicely done. Meanwhile, at the front, looking for an alternative route, because right here, this is not going to work. He knows that tower's coming up. He knows if he comes in here, he's just going to take a face full of arrows. He needs to find another angle. He sees there's a tower here, and he's going to go ahead and put a tower up anyway. It may very well be a watchtower, for all we know. A outpost, rather, for all we know, but it's probably a watchtower. Just need to be careful here, just need to repair this. And he will do just that, keeping his stone income safe. But no, it is a watchtower. He does manage to get his tower up quickly, though. And with that going up, he'll take the tower war, at least for now. And his army. Where's his army gone? Oh, wow, he found another villager. That's insane. ACCM finds another villager. That's very, very good for ACCM. But yeah, he's bringing his scouts home. I think he wants to clean up the men-at-arms there and relieve the pressure a little bit. And we'll do just that. No real micro needed. Just take advantage of superior numbers and clean them up. Trades 1 scout for 3 men-at-arms and gets back the safety, I guess, of his economy. It doesn't have to worry about perhaps over-chopping or getting out to gold and having to wall the villagers in. But he does, however, see these feisty fellas, the spearmen on the front. And I'm just really impressed he managed to find another villager kill with that scout there. That's really good. As he tries to once again build another tower. I feel like this tower maybe, I mean, giving it away a little bit, right? Like a tower here could do the job, and it wouldn't be in line of sight of the barracks. But for now, ACCM is happy to fight with his villagers. He will lose one of those vills fighting the spearmen, but getting them low enough, allowing him to bring the scouts in, and allowing him to commit to building that tower there and forcing yet another tower out of Twigg. The tower goes up for Twigg first, though, and that's going to mean that ACCM may not finish his tower here without losing a villager. Nice play by ACCM. He's bringing the scouts in to try and tank. It works, and he gets the tower up. So 3 towers forced out of Twigg, but 3 towers also built for ACCM. However, ACCM going to be quite happy with this situation because he's got full map control, and as you can see by his economy, he's actually starting that transition up to the Castle Age now, sending out the 4 villagers over to gold, starting to seed down the additional farms, and adding the blacksmith for his second feudal age building. The Castle Age upgrade is not going to be far away for ACCM, and it may not be far away for Twigg either. He sees the market for Twigg right there. He saw that Twigg was on gold, and he also sees that Twigg hasn't made any units that cost gold, with the exception of, I think, a single Eagle Warrior, which he produced earlier on. So Twigg's probably feeling... Sorry, I mean ACCM, I keep saying Twigg, but ACCM probably feeling quite good about his position. We know that Slavic farmers are really effective, and he should be up to the Castle Age very soon. He's probably expecting to be up around the same time as Twigg here. Now, he also knows that Twigg is on stone, and he's building another tower, so he might be thinking that Twigg will be adding a castle fairly soon. And so ACCM is going to be pretty, or if I say fairly soon, but soon after he reaches castle. So I think ACCM in this position, you know, you're going to be pretty happy with the fact that you're forcing the Mayan player to add so many towers in. And actually getting in there with the scouts as well. Spots the low HP gate. Tries to make a quick raid. Going to see what he can see. You can see a lot of villagers on stone. And that's actually going to give ACCM that information. He knows now that Twigg is probably on the way up to the Castle Age, or going to be up to the Castle Age very soon. And he's definitely going for a castle and going for plumed archers. So ACCM, after seeing that, may decide to stay on 1TC for a little bit longer, and maybe come forward with a siege workshop or something to try and pressure Twigg into making a mistake or building his castle in a really bad position. If you're Twigg in this situation, you really want to get your castle out here so you can protect the left flank of your base, protect the gold, for example. But if you can pressure this and prevent that from happening, that's going to work well for ACCM. And ACCM is going to be pretty happy with this as well. His feudal age scouts, they're on a bit of a clock until they're really, not very useful anymore. So getting information with them is super valuable. And there's another tower. Twigg hasn't quite chopped his way toward that tower yet, but eventually he will. And Twigg is going to have to bail from that wood line. So Castle Age is in for ACCM. And he's going to be up quite a bit faster. As you can see, he's not adding in the second or third TC just yet. He's staying on the one-town center for now and going for double stable night production straight away. Now, he's still got 3 villas on stone, so he may consider adding the third TC or second TC later. But for now, he's actually just adding more towers to try and lock down this left side of Twigg's base even further. While the scouts at the back are just holding the villagers on that stone mine hostage and nearly getting through as well. But the repairs come in. And, oh, he opens the gate again. Twigg. Oh, this is the second time that someone's opened a gate by mistake today. And it nearly costs him considerably. But fortunately, there is a spearman nearby. And that scout's going to go down. But not before causing a mini heart attack for Twigg right there, losing his line of sight now. But in come the knights. He's got a really wide open angle into Twigg's base, and Twigg now is going to add a monastery to try and convert those knights, but really isn't going to have an easy time getting that castle up. The castle, who knows where it's going up? Maybe it's coming up back here, just so he can actually build it safely. Maybe it's going up just here. Who knows? If I was Twigg, I'd definitely want it here, but with the 2 towers there, ACCM is zoning off that area of the map, and he's even zoning off the villagers trying to build this monastery, tanking the towers with his +1 defense and bloodlines. ACCM is more than happy to maybe lose a couple of knights in favor of denying the monastery and preventing himself getting converted. ACCM in a very powerful position, and here comes the forward siege workshop. As I said earlier on, I'm expecting that 1 TC aggression. You see the map, you see the situation, you see this Achilles heel of Twigg. And like I say, denying a castle coming up here is going to be huge. However, Bodkin Arrow is coming in for Twigg now, as you can see on the towers. He'll be able to see that they have +2 range and attack. And ACCM only has +1 defense on the knights. So it could be time for ACCM to consider getting +2 defense soon. He has enough knights to justify it as well, I'd say. And he's sitting under quite a lot of tower fire, so it's probably a good idea to get that tech sooner rather than later now that it's in for Twigg. But ACCM, more villagers forward, a monastery from him now as well. Going to reconvert those converted knights, I guess. And he's going to go forward with a siege workshop. There's the castle. There it is. He's actually going for it right there. I thought Twigg might have the castle a bit sooner, to be honest, because of how many villages he had on stone. But oh my goodness, no! There's a hole between the castle and the monastery. Who'd have thought? I wouldn't have thought it. And those villagers are not getting that castle up in a hurry. Meanwhile, the ram coming in, I'd be making a mangonel, to be honest, to try and range the castle. But I guess it's risky with the towers being here and being able to outrange that mangonel. Twigg also trying to get conversions on the knights, but can't because he has to garrison inside of the TC. And this tower going to eject the villagers. The castle is being denied right now as the second ram comes in and starts... Well, the first ram's already damaging the castle. If a second ram comes in as well and he can't get the villagers here to start building it, then he's in trouble. But here's the monks. A quick gate comes in. Quick walls coming in as well. This is where the mangonel would be huge, because the mangonel can fire over, and of course it can actually kill the villagers building it. But Twigg's going to lose quite a bit here. He's going to get the castle up by the looks of things, but he will lose a few villagers for it. And he's still not really securing his gold because of the towers that are here. So many villagers going down. ACCM is going to be absolutely chuffed to bits with how this is going. And now, of course, going to be doing a little bit of damage to the castle with the rams. And continuing even with a ram rush. I'm surprised he's continuing on with more rams. But I guess why not? It's not like Twigg's going to be able to take them out too easily. So the castle is not in a favorable position for Twigg. I mean, yes, I guess he's going to lose the 2 towers now. It's not really where he'd particularly want it. It's not too bad though. I mean, he gets it up, and that's the most important thing. It goes up without losing all of the villagers, doing a doubt castle. And now, of course, the siege production. It doesn't make sense to carry on with siege. I mean, a mangonel now is right out the question. Maybe it could be wise for ACCM to knock on this door. Try it. I mean, this house is already on fire. If it's not walled behind, he could come in and try and come to the back. You can see that clearly ACCM, Twigg has a TC out here or something. So that's an option rather than trying to push in where the castle is, because you know you're not really going to be able to do that with a Castle Age army. And on the back of this, we saw him adding the second TC earlier, the third TC coming up now at the south. And economically, he's probably fairly confident that he's not behind. Because, oh wow, there's still holes. There's holes everywhere. He's just going to run straight through. Well, he's going to confirm at least, or deny, I guess, depending on how this goes, how Twigg's eco is looking like. He's actually just going to end up getting blocked by the gates. Kids still run around. And he's going to see that there'll be another TC over here and then explore to the right a little bit. And, well, we know there's no TC out this way. There's no reason to build a TC there. So there it is, the TC at the back. And ACCM knows he's ahead economically right now. Because unless Twigg's built a TC back here, which seems unlikely, he knows that he's on 3 TCs and Twigg is on 2. In fact, he also knows that Twigg's on 2 castles now as well. And that changes quite a bit. That says that Twigg's going to go for a fast Imperial time. And ACCM really needs to be very careful about that. Now, he can easily clean this up at the back. But that's okay. So I just want to talk about this. The second castle comes up. Now, that says quite a bit, right? That says that Twigg is not prioritizing a third town center. He's staying on 2 TCs. At least for a little bit, because that third TC took priority. And so the Imperial Age for Twigg on 2 TCs is a possibility, like an early imp, double castle, plumed archer production, and then getting an early bracer and chemistry would be quite dangerous to ACCM. So he's got to react to that now, and obviously monks aren't going to be super effective against plumes. He's going to go with a mangonel on the Siege Workshop, but it's kind of far from home. And at the moment, the knight production is still going 2 by 2. But ACCM looks like he's going to be going for a castle of his own fairly soon. And oh my god, I didn't see it. But there it is. The plumed archer raid into the wood line. Just 3 plumes coming in. And Twigg now looking good, actually. Because the raiding damage could start to be a real problem for ACCM. Like I say, 2 castles, double plumed archer production. And you can see already he's got quite a scary number of plumed archers. Now, ACCM, he's in a position where because he's not walled, he has to keep knight production going. But he also doesn't want to sacrifice his Imperial time too much. So his focus at the moment should really be getting that food and gold to go up to Imp. And oh, here we go. Mangonel shot. Good split from Twigg, though. Mangonel are going to be dodged for now as they run back toward the castle and the safety net of that castle. The left side, he'll chase down those exposed plumes as well. And ACCM just doing wheelbarrow, actually, which is a little bit late, really, but he may not have had the resource surplus to do it. And I'd rather see my TC working than idling. So if that means building a villager instead of doing wheelbarrow early, then that's probably the better play to make. But yeah, definitely a lot of plumed archers coming out. The 3rd TC could be up somewhere. I mean, he could put a 3rd TC here, for instance. He could put one here, but it would be too risky right now with the Siege Workshop being able to range it while being out of range of the castle. But time for ACCM to build his castle, and that looks like it's going to go right here in front of his base, right in the midway point between the 2 players. I like that. I think that's good. It's going to protect the gold and the stone a little bit. Going to give him good vision at least. And at this point in the game, I think it's a wise idea for ACCM to think about at least exploring the rest of the map and looking for the additional gold piles as well. And he's actually going to do that with a sheep. Who said sheep weren't useful at 39 minutes? Sheep have eyes. But yeah, selling at the moment, selling some resources to go up to the Imperial Age. And ACCM has made that transition very quickly up to Imp. Like I say, with the Slavic farm bonus, it's incredibly quick. But Twigg, with leather archer armor coming in, got a good number of plumes, and quite a scary number of plumes to these number of knights. If he gets back into a corner here, he could use this little area here. Then he could find himself killing a lot of knights, actually. And that's perfect. That's actually perfect for Twigg. ACCM needs to back off right there. Although, with that said, the Mangonel is closing in. He's got them right where he wants them. And Twigg is going to back out right before that Mangonel shoots. And ACCM kills his own knight. Feels ACCM, man. Get the repairs on that Mangonel. And, well, now it's Twigg's turn to retreat. But, oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. But ACCM's imp time is good. Obviously, those Slavic farmers getting him where he needs to be. And so we're going to see Cavalier coming in pretty quickly here. As well as probably another castle and a treb. ACCM's priority now will be to try and take this castle down. As he realizes that he's going to be imp a lot sooner. And he also sees quite a lot of pikes from Twigg. And realizes that he's going to need an answer to that. So pikes of his own could be an option, but it's not likely, given that we're expecting to see a lot of plumes from Twigg as well. Twigg going for this plume-pike combo, and it's quite difficult to deal with. Repair the Mangonel! Nope, not this time. It's quite difficult to deal with Cavalier alone. Obviously, the Cavalier will perform quite well against the plumes, but against the mass pikes, yeah, it's not a great trade-off. Though if he stays ahead with solid numbers, he might be okay. But yeah, maybe needing something here to deal with the pikemen, especially if he comes forward to attack this castle and the pikes end up just rushing down the knights, because they're going to be far away from this castle for safety. Oh, there's a TC. I'd maybe consider killing that first, actually. That's Twigg's third TC right there. Twigg. Solid number of plumes right now, as to be expected. And there you go, that castle immediately coming under fire. If anything, I think that's good for Twigg, because it stalls ACCM a little bit. ACCM wanted ideally to be attacking that castle with this earlier Imperial time, but now he also runs the risk of getting out-trebbed as well, because ACCM is, oh my goodness, going to keep that Treb alive with 30 HP. Jeez, that was so close, but he's going to be 2 castles against his 1. So Twigg could very easily pump out 2 Trebs in the time it takes him to get up to his 3rd. And yes, he takes down the TC, that's great, but the castles are still standing. And Twigg also has the opportunity now to get Halberdier. And that will be his priority, as we can also see by the spec overlay. But it makes a lot of sense, given that he's up against a pure Halb army. And this is kind of difficult for the Slavs to deal with. I mean, you need an answer to the pikemen that isn't just incredibly weak to the plumes as well. And obviously your own Halbs, it doesn't work so well. So he's going for an archery range. And we'll see, maybe he's going to go for Skirm and Cavalier. That could be a reasonable option as well. But this fight will not go well for ACCM here. He is going to lose a lot of cav to these pikes. And I don't see the Halb upgrade. Maybe it got cancelled. It didn't get finished by Twigg, which is interesting. It seems like pike is enough. And, well, ACCM does take down the castle. He'll be pleased about that, but he might just lose his 3 trebuchets. Meanwhile, there's the skirmisher production coming in, and I'm guessing that maybe he cancelled it by mistake. I don't think a barracks went down, but a barracks could have gone down. I don't think he killed a barracks, though. He would have been focused entirely on that castle there. But there you go. 2 trebs down, and ACCM is now in retreat, falling back to his castles, as it's now Twigg's turn to start focusing on plumed archer upgrades. ACCM, meanwhile, doing that skirm upgrade. And he's going to be okay with the fact that he's got map control, but he did just get raided on the right side, and he missed it, and I missed it. We all missed it. There's a lot of dead red villies right there. Now is the time to explore for more gold, he's decided. Building outposts, the typical strat. But yeah, does need to add some more military production buildings at this point. He is not producing enough. He's only got his 3 stables or 4 stables and single archery range, and we know that Halb is on the field, so making too many Cavalier is not a good play at this point. Chemistry is also coming in, and there's some more raiding coming in at the back. Not the kind of raiding I expected. I expected to pan over here and see a couple of plumes, not 2 halberdier and a couple of monks, but whatever floats your Twiggy boat. Yeah, I doubt ACCM is going to keep these castles up right now. This is going to be very difficult. Like I say, I mean, what does he make that deals with this? It's not easy. Onager could be a good shout, but it's also very expensive and he cannot afford it. And he also has no meat shield for it either. Onager would be strong, but he needs units right now, you know? He just doesn't have the military count at the moment. And he's also losing his trebs as well. Losing his castles on the front. And, well, he's going for another siege workshop. That's his only one right now. ACCM doesn't have a backup siege workshop. And he's going to continue putting his foot down on the gas with Cavalier production. Once again, getting raided on the gold on the right side. Ballistics now coming in for ACCM, as well as padded archer armor as these villagers get raided. We see that there's a barracks here through the fog. And he's not finding any of those additional gold piles, which kind of sucks. And I'd like to know where they are, but we'll find out at the end of the game, I guess. Right now, it's a scramble. He's massively outnumbered. The Mayan army is huge. And these plumed archers are lacking upgrades for sure. They don't have the elite plumed archer upgrade. They don't have the +4 defense. But ACCM, not a lot you can do about them still. Because those trebs will kill that castle. And ACCM here is in trouble. The game is paused right now. We are waiting for it to unpause. And then we'll see what's going to happen next. I'm going to have a sip of my coffee. Now, ACCM is going for capped ram, which is an interesting choice. Obviously, capped ram is great at soaking up arrow fire, but the halbs are also a problem. But I guess with the combination with the skirms, if the skirms can kill the halbs, then the capped rams will be very effective. But that's an if, not a when. And there we go. Looks like ACCM is in trouble, I agree with that. And he's going to be losing that castle at this rate, because I just don't see him being able to overwhelm this army with what he has on the field right now. Anything else? Nope, that's it. Just this at the moment. The main focus of the fight. Using his monks to heal up what he can, but it's really negligible. The effect is so negligible. He's spending so much stone on repairing this castle as well. Twigg now continuing to raid. Look at the impact. Look at that. 4 halberdier, enough to put 15 villagers idle in that TC. It's unreal. But there you go. He's out of stone. It's only a matter of time until that castle now falls. And we're just going to get past the pause real quick. Twigg was the one to call it, as we can see.
Yes.
And there we go. We're continuing on. So the castle, yeah, going to come under fire. The rams are being let loose, but there's no siege ram in sight. He needs 1,000 food for that. Not happening. Right here. Not happening at all. The halberding continuing on. And again, another 15 villagers made to go idle by 4 halberdier. And a couple of vills dying as well. The extra gold still under under ACCM's control, but once that's gone, he's going to be in a little bit of a bad position for gold as well. He's got 1 relic, but did lose the other relics earlier that he claimed. He's going to make his push forward now, though. And the rams did soak up a little bit, but also got taken out very quickly. And Twigg, without the elite plumed archer upgrade and +4 defense, does lose quite a few plumed archers, and they're kind of struggling to hold their ground against the skirms. The skirms are very effective right now. But Twigg, as we know, through the spectator overlay, is about to throw a spanner in the works. And there it is. It has arrived. The very first Eagle Warrior coming down to the south of the map. It's found these villagers, and that could spell the end for ACCM, actually. Eagle Warriors would clean up this army on the front, but more importantly, they're raiding his eco right now, and there's nothing he can do to stop them. He could bring some cavalier down, but he needs every man he can get to be at the front lines of this fight right here. The Eagles are in. They're fully upgraded with the exception of the plus 40 HP. And Twigg still maintains a strong advantage right here. The Eagle Warriors going to rush forward now and clean up this army, while at the same time raiding the eco at the back. And, well, there it is, the GG from ACCM being called right there. And as Aluka in the chat is saying, it started very promising for ACCM. I agree with that 100%. He had a really good position on the map, but he wasn't able to make it count in the end. And ACCM just couldn't put together an army composition that could deal with plumed archers and halb until it was a bit too late. Going into skirm was all well and good, but Twigg was one step ahead of the game there already, transitioning into Eagle Warriors, as you could see. And of course, once the Eagles arrived, well, that was really the end of the game for ACCM right there. What do you do against the Eagles in that position? You switch back into Cavalier? Well, good luck with that. Your gold income is about to run out. And meanwhile, Twigg does have extra gold out on the map and is in a really commanding position after saving so much gold on plumes and halbs as well, I imagine. So there you go. GG, well played. ACCM tabbing out, and Twigg going to be clawing this one back. It's 3-2 right now. We're at 5 games, and the score is pretty close. Well, it's as close as it can be for 5 games, isn't it? It's not a 5-0 sweep. It's a 3-2 advantage to ACCM, and this series could very well go the distance. Why has the game ended? That'd be because ACCM called GG, Mars. So we'll see what ACCM, or sorry, Twigg can do in the next game. See if he can bring this level. He's certainly started to make a comeback. That's right. Switch the camera to me while I'm eating. Everyone wants to watch me eating. This is a Korean stream now. What's it called? What's mukbang? Yeah, that's it. This is a mukbang stream from now on. Beat you to it, ham. We're gonna sit here and eat stuffed sweet peppers and soft cheese. Although I've kind of eaten them all already, so there's not much left. Oops. And I wonder why I'm putting on weight. Eat spicy noodles. I could always eat some spicy noodles, bogus. I really love Asian food, actually. It's delicious. It's really, I don't know, it's really hard to say what my favorite cuisine is, though. I love Mexican food. I love Chinese food. I love Thai food. Like, that's just fantastic. There's so much great cuisine out there. I guess the bottom of the list is probably British food. Not great. Not too good. Unless I make it, of course, because I make delicious food. I make a great shepherd's pie. You haven't eaten British food until you've eaten my shepherd's pie. I tell you that for free. Oh yeah, pot noodles. Yeah, they're the best. We all know pot noodles are the best. The best high quality noodles out there. Especially the chicken and mushroom pot noodle. Delicious. Fish and chips. Well, don't give me that face, Rickle. Fish and chips are great. Once a year. And then you have to spend the rest of the year working out to make up for the fact that you ate one dose of fish and chips. Because they're so unhealthy. Everything is deep fried. Yeah, that's right. Sounds good. Sign me up for a artery killer. Alright, well, here we go. We're back in. It's 3-2. It's 6th game right now. And it's as close as we could be at this point. Over to the west of the map. As always, in the colour blue, it is Twigg. This time taking the Franks. Going for the first time with a all-out cavalry civ. Now, he played Cav with the Chinese earlier on, but this time he's playing Cav with the Franks. It's just that much better, and he's going to be doing it from the get-go rather than from mid-feudal. On the other side, ACCM playing as the Burmese in the red. Currently, top of the pops, it is Robo Boro. You guys better get your bets in, because you can't let Robo win. Because I can't gift a sub to Robo, he's already subbed. Lou Roll in 2nd place. You are on course to win that sub, Lou Roll, if you can beat Robo here. In 3rd place, Turambar 94. In 4th place, XX Morbum. And, well, they haven't bet. Those guys didn't bet. Good to see you guys really getting involved with the betting. The top 3 people are the only people to bet successfully, while 4th and 5th are there by default by not even betting. That's just great. Come on, guys. Keep it up. Get those bets in. Exclamation mark bet, followed by Twigg or ACCM, and then the number of points you would like to bet. If you think you've lost your points, you're wrong. You got given 100 points between games. So you still have 100 points to bet with. And if I see X Morbum at the end of this series in 4th place, I'm disappointed in you all. That's all I'm going to say. There's a free subscription at stake here. Get those bets in. So Burmese up against the Franks. Burmese are a fun civ, aren't they? We could see some men-at-arms here. You could also see a dead villager if ACCM isn't careful, but he will bring that boar home safely. But yeah, men-at-arms, definitely an option here. The +1 attack in the feudal age makes them very effective at applying early pressure to the Franks. And of course, that extra 1 attack also goes a long way if it does come to fighting those scouts head on as well. In fact, oh dear, Twiggy. He tried to block the board there with that villager. You saw him place the palisade down, but nope. Ends up losing out, and he's 1 vill down. Gaia gets first blood. And that doesn't bode well for Twigg in this game. He was trying to thread the needle going through the house and the wood line, but I think he was just trying to take a bit of an ambitious ball, or it seemed to be quite far away. Seems like the bets have now changed in favor of ACCM. Or maybe not. You guys didn't have time to get all the bets in, as the bets have now closed, and ACCM has 46% of the bet, while Twigg has 54%. Well, we'll see if he can pull through. Obviously, losing a villager early on is not ideal, but hey, you weren't to know. You weren't to know. I'm sure it'll be fine. Regardless, Twigg will be looking for that fast feudal scouts. ACCM looking like he's poised to drop a barracks with this villager right here. And he will be adding men-at-arms. Once he's clicked up to feudal, he'll finish off the boar. He'll send 2 villagers out to gold. And he will make the men-at-arms. The deer are in a really good position for this as well, because you can take them very comfortably next to his mill. Doesn't have to push them. Doesn't have to risk villagers being too far away from safety. He can just grab the deer. I'm surprised he's not doing it already, to be honest, because that extra food boost could have him producing militia a few seconds earlier. A couple of seconds earlier militia production can result in a couple of seconds earlier sending them across the map. Could result in pressuring your opponent. Could result in denying a stable or a barracks or something. So the sooner the better, really. But he is waiting for that feudal age upgrade to come in. Then he can start militia production. But could have taken the deer in that time, and maybe he'd have the first militia out already. It's hard to know for sure. It's all a coulda, woulda, shoulda. But, you know, he's not the Franks. He doesn't have a forage bonus. The deer are right there. So that triggers me a little bit, to be honest. I'm going to be honest, it does. But he did send the 2 vills out to gold. And Twigg, meanwhile, going to be walling up at home. As we know, the best defense to a drush is a quick wall. And he's already walling in the villagers here on the deer. And you see Twigg is taking full advantage of the deer. They're right there next to the mill. Why not go for it? Of course he goes for it. And he's going for scouts as well. So those extra bits of food that he manages to take from the deer will absolutely benefit him with that scout production. He's also going to scout it, speaking of scouts, and see that there are 4 villagers coming across the map as well. So there's not just going to be the men-at-arms. There's going to be some towers to follow up. And there you have Twigg adding in the stone mine. Now he's in feudal. He'll get Bitaxe for free. I'm surprised, really, that Aftermath don't play Burmese more often with the free Bitaxe upgrade. You'd think they'd be chomping at the bit to get this civ and not have to forget that themselves. But Twigg getting Bitaxe, while ACCM, of course, gets it for free. And now we have the men-at-arms tech going in for ACCM. But he doesn't get there fast enough to deny the stable or anything like that. And to be honest, this tower, well, it's not in the best position. It allows him to break through the wall, sure, but it doesn't really cover any farm. It doesn't really range the wood. And he'll have to follow up with a second tower if he really wants to make something of this trush. So he'll take down the palisade wall, or at least try to. And at the same time, we're going to see the first scouts coming out for Twigg, keeping them at home. And now lock the gate. Make sure that those villagers don't go out, for heaven's sake. We've seen that far too many times already this series. And ACCM pressuring. Twigg just defending. It's fine. He can counter-attack at this position, I think. I don't think he's going to be too concerned at all about this at the moment. That tower there should go up in range of this tower, and he can potentially deny it. Twigg. Oh, Twigg. That is beautiful. He's going to sacrifice a villager, but he only gets 38 HP on the house, which is not enough. But it is enough to block those villagers in for now. And of course, they don't want to bash the house down and take damage from the tower. So that was a really nice move from Twigg. Not only defending his wood line, but also forcing those villagers to take a bit of damage. And wow, that tower's got some range on it. Those villagers really trying to clean this up. And this is going to bring the cavalry over. I think Twigg really wanted to counter-attack, but no, he's going to be forced to come in here. Quick walls coming down, though, for ACCM. He'll need to delete his own walls now to get to those villagers. And his main focus now is kill the vills, and they're already low. So it's super easy to kill those vills. She's on like 1 HP in that tower. But at the same time, it's okay for ACCM. Twigg just lost 2 scouts. And he took a lot of damage there without really stopping this in its tracks, and he needed to stop this in its tracks. That extra 1 damage on those men-at-arms starting to add up. The tower from the back doing damage as well. And Twigg, if he tries to counter-attack with 2 cav on 38 HP and 40 HP, he's not going to find much. There's already a spearman in place to defend. And now Twigg, desperately trying to get the tower up on his wood line, is going to be faced with a lot of arrow fire from ACCM as well. He'll get it up, though, because ACCM is going to bail from that tower there. And with 2 towers shooting at 1, it's pretty clear that Twigg's going to be able to take that down successfully. While ACCM is looking for another angle. Perhaps he comes to the berries on the left side. Yeah, the scouts didn't really do much. And now an archery range coming in from ACCM. He's going to make that switch into archers. Or maybe scums, but most likely archers. As he looks around the backside. Those men-at-arms are looking very healthy as he tries to take down that palisade there, but Twigg would be crazy to let that happen. The nice thing about this, though, is that ACCM is forcing a lot of towers out of Twigg. And Twigg there... Oh, wow, he actually... Okay, he did let it happen. I'm surprised. I'm shocked. But he did let that tower... well, he didn't let the tower go up. He let the palisade go down, and then the tower went up. But that was kind of silly by ACCM. If he just sent the army around the left side, he would have achieved a lot more. Instead, he dies to the tower, and he dies to the TC. And on the left side, his stone walls will protect this tower here. But Twigg's just going to batter that one down. And yeah, I don't think ACCM made the best of that situation. He certainly didn't make the best of this tower rush, and I can certainly see that this is not going to work out too well for ACCM here. So well defended by Twigg. He's in a really good position right now, actually. He's got the villager advantage. He has got more idle villagers, admittedly, but I'm sure he'll set that right once this tower's gone down out on this left-hand side. And yeah, I mean, that's going down almost as quickly as it goes up. He may be able to keep it alive by repairing, though. Hard to tell, actually. Is that tower gaining health or losing health? I'd say it's actually gaining health, so... Although, with that said, this corner piece of wall is now dead, so more villagers can start to attack it. He just needs to bring the vills to attack. Twigg, please. Twigg. There we go. Get the vills to attack on the corner, and that tower goes down. It is yours. I mean, if you'd reacted a little bit faster there, it would have gone down already. In fact, now there's spearmen in the mix. It's getting kind of awkward. But he can use the villagers here to attack the spears. This tower is really annoying, actually. It's finally dead, as it should have been. And ACCM will just escape out the back. Overall, I'd say that was a win for ACCM, for sure. Those villagers there having to chase this army away. And as a result, spending a lot of idle time. Having to batter down the tower for a long time as well, causing also even more idle time. And although he will kill those villagers off in the end with the help of Gaia, the wolf is coming in, of course, as always. Yeah, I think Twigg here pays the price in the end, losing a couple of vills, fighting the archers, not so wise, and all that idle time, of course, on top of all of that. So, although ACCM is behind by 5 vills, Twigg did lose a lot of collection time from those villagers as well. On the front, though, he can also take down the watchtower here and regain full control of that. He's kind of lucky this time around. His gold's in the back and his stone's in the back. It could have been much worse for Twigg. And finally, he might be able to counterattack again, but this time it's with even less HP on those scouts. For the second time now, he's got 2 scouts just chilling there with like 10 HP between them. He'll send them out though, of course, but what will he find? He might find something. In fact, there's only 1 spearman at home for ACCM to defend with, and he may not actually find all too. He may not actually be able to defend a villager from going down. We'll see if this raid could do something here. Oh, this is not so good though. 1 villager threatening to wall up an entire archery range. Twigg backing out of there. Gonna try and micro this army down. That villager is on a mission, and if he doesn't stop it, that archery range is going to be put out of service. It's going to be decommissioned. So he needs to quickly deal with this, but he's housed, so he can't make any more units from this range. And this villager is slowly creeping around. Actually going to wall it up. I can't believe he's going to get away with that. I cannot believe he's getting away with it. No repercussions for ACCM at all, and Twigg's just going to let that go. That's shocking. I can't believe it. So ACCM now going up to the castle age, suddenly looking in a good position. It looks like a castle is on the cards for ACCM. He's got a lot of villagers on stone. We may see Arambai coming out. I've not seen Arambai for a long time. They're incredibly expensive and they're not as effective. Twigg can chop the straggler tree. He can. But will he? What if ACCM chops it first? I think Twigg, at the moment, is more concerned about getting up to the castle age with that sort of imbalanced eco of his. And man, ACCM is being annoying. Switch on to Twigg's point of view, and all you hear is ding, 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 ding. There's problems. Alarm, alarm. There's problems. We're being attacked here, 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 and here. Please do something about it, Twigg. And it's just like, oh, it's so annoying when you're in that position. You're just trying to focus on your game, and all you can hear is ding, ding, ding. But he just wants to stabilize the position, really. It's just easier said than done. And Twigg really needs to make sure he gets back or keeps that gold control. Like, just, what is this? Stepping back one at a time, trying to defend this gold at all costs. Those scouts didn't do anything either. Ended up getting picked off by a spearman. But Castle Age is in. Let's see then. The castle for ACCM is nowhere in sight just yet. Maybe he'll build a second TC first. His map's really open. I don't like ACCM's map at all, to be honest. So he may go for a castle here. He may go all the way forward and just drop it right here. We'll find out in a couple of seconds because he's got the stone to place it. And where is it gonna go? Oh yes. And Burmese monks as well. Good stuff. Hard price monk techs coming in hot. It's a 2-for-1 monk tech today. And ACCM here is going to be very happy to have a monk civ, a monastery monk civ, up against the Franks. He's seen that there's 2 stables, and we can see from the spectator standpoint that there are 2 knights being queued in each stable. So ACCM with... Oh my goodness, this is ballsy. Jesus, this is ballsy. What a castle placement. He's doing it well in sight of Twigg here. He knows what he's doing. This is a real big dick play right here. This is like, I have got the balls and I'm using them. ACCM wants to finish this game. He's got the crossbow as well right there to kill villagers on the watchtower. The watchtower's gonna go up though, but I think it's too late. It might be possible to still build the castle. He might need to bring more villagers forward actually. That's so close, but I think he knows he's not going to get it. He actually ungarrisons the watchtower and he admits defeat. He admits that that castle is going up. He gave up the fight and rather get the villagers out to safety, I guess. But yeah, the castle's up. The Arambai production is on the way. And ACCM has a airtight grip on Twigg right now. And that's great because, you know what? ACCM's map is garbage. His gold is so far forward. having all the eyes on his opponent and having his opponent stuck in his base is exactly where ACCM wants him to be. Twigg would love to counter-attack right now, but that's not going to happen easily. Two monks need to get conversions quickly, but they immediately go down. And now it might be time for the counter-attack. It could be coming in. Here it is. Counter-attack we've been waiting for. ACCM with 2 TCs at home, quite close together. The gold is not too exposed either because it's close to the TC, and the extra golds aren't being taken yet. Meanwhile, the Arambai are starting to make their appearance, and with enough Arambai, you can easily one-shot knights. 17 attack damage in the Castle Age. That's pretty huge. Of course, 15 of that. 14 of that even will go through to the knights. And the game running incredibly slow right now. I don't know why that is. Slow motion as Twigg runs through ACCM's base. Run, Twiggy, run! It's like that moment from Forrest Gump. All in slow motion, he's coming in. ACCM has to garrison the TC, but the knights are coming in and they're whacking those villagers. Villagers going down for free here. And Twigg's going to be happy about that after losing a few villagers earlier on. He's also trying to make a castle of his own. And losing 3 or 4 villagers at the same time. That castle is ambitious. Release the knights, Twigg. Release the hounds. And let them go to town on those crossbow right there. There you go. That's how it's done. Take those out like that. Yeah, Twigg's not in an awful position. It looks awful on the surface. But he's only a few villages behind. He's got a pretty close KD. And although he's got a small army, it's very strong. Obviously, being Frank Knights. Still though, if there's a solid mass of Arambai out for ACCM, that could spell trouble for Twigg. What do you do against mass Arambai? You probably want to get a monastery down of your own. Try and convert some of those Arambai if you can. At the moment though, he's actually gone for a siege workshop and some rams. I'm very curious if we're going to see some kind of a ram push onto that castle. That's going to be quite difficult. I mean, Arambai, admittedly, are terrible against rams. They might have 17 damage, but a ram has 195 pierce armor, so good luck getting through that. The problem is if they get in and start raiding, and then Twigg sends some knights after them to go and kill them, and then the knights just get one shot because these guys are just going to be hitting like a ton of bricks. So you can say ACCM in control at the moment. Maybe this TC here is a good option for ACCM. He does have some vision from the palisades, and he does see the farms. So it looks like he's going to be heading out in this direction. And Twigg now going to find those Arambai on his farms. Going to find those villagers going down in the blink of an eye. And I think Twigg wishes he could say the same with his knight raiding, but that's just going to get repelled by a couple of monks right here. Still though, Twigg with a 4th town centre now, I believe. No, sorry, my bad. That's TC number 3. I thought that was TC number 4. Just can't count, it turns out. And ACCM with a 3rd TC as well, right here on that gold, which we identified earlier as being sort of forward and in a bad position. ACCM in the driver's seat. ACCM continuing Arambai production. Now these guys did get nerfed in the last balance patch. They were made more expensive. But it still remains that when you get up to a certain point, those Arambai just become unstoppable, and I dare say that may have been that point. Twigg just calling GG right there, like sort of almost out of nowhere. There wasn't a fight to end it off. There wasn't really a climax. It was a slow, steady grinding down of Twigg's resilience and fortitude to stay in this game. I guess losing his archery range was annoying and a setback, and then seeing just how many Arambai ACCM had, seeing how quickly he could burn that mining camp to the ground with a ranged unit. And that's enough, of course, for Twigg to realize that ACCM is too far ahead. If even Frank Knights can't deal with that. I mean, think about it, 17 damage, 3 of it's being resisted, so they do 14 damage. That means you need 8 Arambai to hit a knight to take one down, and there's more than 8 Arambai there, so you're talking one-shotting knights very comfortably with these guys once they get into range. And I guess Twigg just doesn't see a way out from that position. He's got a castle, which was by necessity, and he's got a single throwing axeman, but throwing axemen aren't great against Arambai. I don't know if you know that, but they're not great. So there you go. GG. And we're going to see ACCM take it to match point here. It's a 4-2 now to ACCM. And if ACCM gets this Game 7 win, then he will be bringing it home. And he will get the W. Maybe I should have waited before resubbing. Why is that, Dark Knight? What did you miss by subbing when you did? Oh, congratulations to EscapeAoE, who is currently first in the betting. Dark Knight in second place, tied actually with us. So, I see now. Now I get it, right? Because you're in second place, which means if you win the betting, you would have got the sub for free. Well, you can always nominate. If the person who wins the betting competition is already subscribed, they can choose who to give the subscription to. So we'll allow you to do that if you win. Lou Roll in third place, Snip Snaps in fourth, and XX Morbum in fifth with 600 points after not betting anything. That's still good enough for fifth place. So guys, I'm disappointed. Come on, we need more bets here. If X Morbum is still in fifth place at the end of this series without even betting on the game, like I said earlier, something has gone wrong. You should see the AoE3 community when it comes to betting. The whole chat is just flooded with people betting because they're so determined to get that number 1 betting position. All right, look at this. 20-second delay, and we're going into our next game. Still a lot of great sibs available to both players, so who knows what they're going for next. We could see slabs from Twigg, though, but it won't be. It will be the Mongols coming in for Twigg, and he's going to be spawning over to the west of the map in the blue. His opponent, ACCM, playing as the Japanese, a sib which we've not seen for quite a while, actually. I'm surprised. I mean, we've not seen Japanese in... I want to say we've only seen them once in all of our show matches. And I always say, the Japanese are a reasonable pick toward the end of the series when the best sibs are gone. But players often leave them neglected and don't end up picking the Japanese anyway. But this time around, ACCM going for the Japanese, and I think they're a really reasonably strong civ. Mongols, of course, a little bit stronger in the right hands, but might not be the hands of Twigg, because he's currently trailing. It's 2-4. If ACCM wins this series, or wins this game, sorry, he wins the series, Twigg now has to win this game if he wants a chance to win overall. So we'll see what he can bring to this last match. But it is time. If you want to bet, the time is now. The bets are open. Exclamation mark bet followed by Twigg or ACCM, and then the number of points you would like to bet on that option. If you lost your bet and you lost all of your points last game, don't worry. You've been credited with 100 more, so you can still bet on this game as well. And maybe, just maybe, you could still come out on top. And of course, as we said, the winner will get a free subscription to the channel. So get your bets in and get them in quickly, because there's only 1 minute left before the bets close. So I want to see that betting pool filled up, and I definitely don't want to see X Morbum winning without even placing a bet. So do it, and do it now, and do it quickly while you still can.
Yes.
And, well, ACCM, I'm going to call a re. So we're backing out of this game, it seems. And I think, again, it's probably likely he's calling a re because of the wood situation. He's actually taken his wood line right on the front of his base, which is not so good. And maybe he could have taken it further back, but the other wood lines were quite far away. So we'll be back into game 7 very shortly. It's still 4-2, but we will have to restart the 7th game. Each player has 1 restart they're allowed to take, and both players have now taken it. So game 7 will be restarted by ACCM. Got to use those restarts. Got to make them count. What good is getting to the end of the series and losing if you don't use a restart? But Twigg's already used his and he's losing, so I guess that doesn't really make sense. Once again, time for some mukbang. Only you missed it. You missed me putting that delicious feta cheese or cream cheese filled. Okay, the camera's too close. It's too zoomed. No, not like this. You missed the beautiful stuffed sweet pepper ham.
Yes.
With the pro cuts right there. And oops. ACCM. I have to restart again. Because this time, he's taken the Berbers by mistake. When he was supposed to take the Japanese. So we're backing out. We're going to try again. It's not too bad. I've seen worse. I guess it's time for... I mean, I ate the final... stuffed pepper, so I guess I'm on to the stuffed vine leaves now. It doesn't count as food unless it's stuffed. Here we go. Look at this. Stuffed vine leaf. Yummy, yummy. Lovely. When I lived in Greece for 6 months, I pretty much lived off of stuffed vine leaves. Because I was in a... here we go. Stop zooming! No! Too much. I was trying to tell my story about stuffed vine leaves. Let me tell my story, Ham. Too much zoom. I was renting a room on a Greek island because I was working there. But my room didn't have any cooking equipment. It was just a room. It did have a fridge, but it didn't have a stove, it didn't have a microwave or anything like that. And seriously? I finished eating now. And you know what? Fuck this story. I'm not telling the story. You've ruined it. I'm on strike. Screw you, Ham. That's it. I'm gonna sit here and wait for the game to start. I'm not gonna fill the silence. I'm gonna let it sink in. It's okay. You can only ever truly be comfortable with someone if you can be comfortable with the silence. A shared silence. Let's pay our respects.
Amrmindu. Bilimban.
off because I don't care if this is a GG map, Jubina. ACCM down to the south in the red, playing as the Japanese, and it looks like this could very well be a GG map. Yeah, that's right. I know. I told him to. I don't care what he thinks. I don't care about the spec chat, but he's got a point. This is not a good map for Twigg. He's out of restarts, and he has basically got only one wood line. If he gets pushed off of this wood line, he is in trouble. Trouble is a brewing for our Argentinian friend. His berries are exposed, and his golds are just, well, I mean, I can count 3 trees on my screen right now, but I can also count 2 gold mines and 2 stone mines. This is a very GG map for Twigg, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's GG, right? It's not a good map, but I refuse to believe that there is such a thing as a pure map win. This will absolutely encourage Twigg to play very aggressively, and he'll be playing against ACCM, who has a very not GG map. He has a very good map. A map which is quite easy to wall between these tree lines up to the edge of the map here. But that doesn't mean that Twigg can't be fast enough to actually get over there with his scouts and start doing some damage very quickly. As the Mongols going up with maybe 17 villagers, maybe 18 population. I'd like to see that. I would like to see a very fast feudal. I mean, a bit more of a fast feudal. Maybe 1 less villager than your standard. So we'll see what he can do. We'll see what he can do. He's pushing in the deer at the moment. He's obviously going to see that his map's pretty trash. He already sees enough to know that. And he's not gone much farther than his borders here. And ACCM now, moving out across the map, will be looking, see what he can find. Sees the berries. And he doesn't realize just how bad Twigg's map is yet. But he is walling up at home. And maybe you're right, Primarius. Maybe you're onto something there. Maybe ACCM has borrowed Viper's map hacks. Just when he needs it as well. Match point. He gets a fantastic map to do it with. But that doesn't mean that he's won by any means here. And he's going to get a little close to the TC there and take some free damage. We'll be able to get out a dodge though. And find that wood line at the back. Might be tempted to attack and harass a villager, but probably knows better not to do that at this point. Twigg going to push every bit of deer he can, get every advantage he can here. As he goes up to 18 vills, he's going to go up with 19 by the looks of things. Which is not as early as I was hoping. I was hoping he'd go for something incredibly early in order to prevent ACCM from doing exactly this. I mean, even if he'd gone up before, he wouldn't prevent him from walling completely, but you got to get over there quickly, man, and stop the walls quickly before it's too late. At the very least, he'll be able to go up now and then start adding scouts to defend. I mean, defending with scouts is reasonable as well, but he's got to be also very careful. He does, okay, he sees that there is a hole here. I was going to say, he's got to be very careful, because if he doesn't block off the left side of this lumber camp, ACCM could come in very easily. ACCM can probably come in quite easily anyway, because he come in this right side, and the way this mill is built, he doesn't want to wall to the mill, because that walls the berries out on the right side, so he's going to have to leave it open for now. And in fact, looks like Twigg's playing a different strat altogether. He's not actually going for scouts at all, which is what you'd expect from the Mongols. Oh no, he's going for men-at-arms. Very quick men-at-arms. And I think ACCM might know that he's going for that, because he saw the 2 villagers building the mining camp on the left-hand side. So, men-at-arms versus men-at-arms. Obviously, Twigg's going to do it a little bit faster. It's going to be difficult, though, because, as I say, ACCM is pretty much fully walled. Hey there, Batarang. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You've tuned in at just the wrong time, ACCM. on match point. You missed the whole series so far. Where have you been? I've been waiting up for you. You didn't call. You didn't text. You show up at the last minute expecting me to just welcome you to the stream like nothing happened. 6 goddamn games, Badrang. That's what happened. What do you call this? Explain yourself. Oh god, it's too real, isn't it? It's too real. ACCM going to push out with 4 villas as well. And he knows that this map is is bad for Twigg, and he wants to capitalize on that fully to make sure that Badrang doesn't get to see another game. Oh boy. Yeah, Twigg better see this coming. At the moment, he's got no idea. And the wolf is certainly not going to give it away. Give it away, give it away, give it away now. It's not giving anything away. Oh no. But Twigg, he's just adding more men-at-arms. He's like, yep, you know what? Let's just keep going. Let's add another one. Give me more. ACCM's also thinking the same. You know what? Give me some more. The problem is going men-at-arms against Japanese men-at-arms is kind of tough because, you know, they kind of attack faster. So if you're going to lose that engagement. It's not a good engagement. At the moment, Twigg, not going to see this coming. Has no idea that through the shadows lurks the shadow monster that is ACCM. And ACCM has not dropped the ball here. Like, it is late in Vietnam right now. This series started at, I think, midnight for him. So we are well into the wee hours of the morning for ACCM. And he is going strong. Denying the gold, and the second gold, and the stone, and kind of denying this stone as well. ACCM now getting stuck in. Going to back away because the archers are there, but to be honest, I think it's probably worth just turning around and fighting that. But if you can bait him back towards the tower, that works for ACCM as well. As Twigg is now forced out to the right-hand side to take the gold here. ACCM going to put on the fog of war real quick. He does see the gold out there. He's going to know that's the next logical step for Twigg to take, and so ACCM is probably mining a bit of stone. No, yep, he is. And probably thinking about towering that gold as well on that right-hand side. Twigg, I think he built a tower here, but deleted it. He should definitely build a tower on the gold on the right side. But the question is, should he build the tower on the gold so that he can secure the gold? Or should he build the tower on the stone so that he can secure the stone so that he can then build another tower later to secure the gold? It's pick one, right? Pick one. You can't have both of those things. It depends what's more important. At the moment, he's doing neither. Or neither. But that's allowing ACCM to creep in at the front. And Twigg does not want to expend a tower here, when he could end up getting pushed off of stone or gold later on, and may need the tower for that. So in comes ACCM. He's going to start denying some farms, but no, Twigg will respond with the tower here. And now Twigg better make sure that he can get the stone for another tower later on, otherwise he is in trouble. One villager mining stone will not last long. ACCM sees it as well, so he'll be quick to send an archer out to the left side to deny it. And now maybe Twigg has to build a market, maybe Twigg has to buy some stone going forward. This stone is out of reach. And ACCM now, oh well, I mean, doesn't even need to send an archer there. You just build a tower there, and Twigg has to bail. He managed to get a grand total of 20 stone from an investment of 110 wood and the villager time to build it all. Not a good trade. In fact, I'd call that a pretty shoddy trade. I feel like Twigg should maybe consider reading up on some economic theories. The great book, The Art of the Deal, could be a recommended read for Twigg. Because I tell you now, 120 wood for 20 stone is not a good deal. No deal. No deal. But at least ACCM isn't tower creeping his farms. He'll at least push that back. So that's nice. But ACCM is in such a commanding position. It's only a matter of time until he makes his way over to the gold on the right side. And just plops down a tower there as well. And ACCM knows he's got gold income because he sees the archer. And with an archer on the field, you've obviously got some gold. I don't mean to trigger anyone, Lucas, but but you might. It's almost like, you know, when you point out that someone's triggered, it triggers them even more because you've highlighted that they're triggered. It's always funny when you get that reaction because it's kind of like an admission that, yeah, you were right, and now I'm even more triggered. I'm more triggered that you're right that I was, yeah. It's kind of funny. Human nature is a funny thing. But, you know, funnily enough, all of this at the moment, it still results with Twigg having an advantage in score. But ACCM's base is like Fort Knox. He's not getting in here. And if he does get in, he's probably not getting out alive. Too real, perhaps. But, yeah, ACCM is just so well walled up that it's going to take a little bit more than a few skirmishes to break this down. And ACCM has all the time in the world to react. Twigg, though, buying stone. I did say it. Build a market, buy the stone that you need. And it looks like the tower could be coming up on the gold on the right side later on. But for now, one on the left to prevent any further tower creep. And then, yeah, this army's just going to be looping around, looking for an angle of attack, but not finding anything. ACCM should be moving over to the gold on the right side. I'd be doing that if I was him. But at the moment, I don't know where he's going. He might be moving in that direction. The problem is he's only got one range. And he's struggling to keep up in military count. So if he can catch out some of these units out here, that would be good. Or alternatively, just walk past them and don't. But yeah, he's going to go make a play toward that gold. And it's good timing for him. ACCM going to hit that gold right as Twigg's trying to build the output of the tower. And ACCM is going to push them all away, while Twigg has to bring the army back to defend. Fletching's now done as well, but Twigg is all the way up to the castle age. This is an opportunity for Twigg now as he fights with his villagers. Trying to find a way in here, not getting through, surprise, surprise. And he will force up that tower on the gold, and ACCM's like, where are you getting gold from, bro? Like, you must be buying it at the market. And he knows that that's good for him. But he has to bail on his own tower. And ACCM's castle age time, it's non-existent. And oh my goodness, there is a hole. What was I saying about being Fort Knox? Well, he left a wide open hole on the left side. So I guess not a good defense at all for ACCM, and quite an admirable defense from Twigg. So Twigg's making the best of a bad map right here, and forcing ACCM now to put towers at home. But if he, more importantly, can keep that hole open, if he can just keep the hole in the wall, then Twigg can send knights through that hole and start raiding ACCM's backside, back economy, the backside of his economy. This being the front side. Yeah, so it just needs to keep that open. And he was going to put all of his units in there to prevent ACCM from doing anything about it. And he can't because he's only got 7 military units. And this is just going so well now for Twigg. I think ACCM may be overcommitting to towers a little bit. And it's totally not paying out for ACCM. Twigg is just on it. Taking out the towers, harassing the vills. And now he's in. He's got crossbow. He's got to go straight in, diving in deep. And the knights, in my opinion, should be rallied here. Right here. Not over here, out here. But, I mean, you know, it's fine. This army is keeping him busy, but no. No. ACCM, critical mistake. And, well, I didn't notice this, but he added a stable and started adding scouts, which might be enough to clean this up. And like I said, if he gets into Fort Knox, he isn't getting out alive. Twigg sentenced to life. And ACCM will block up the hole, and I feel like Twigg made a big misplay right there. That was a big misplay. I mean, he should have stayed in the hole. He should have waited for the knights to come in. Imagine what these knights could do if they were inside now. But ACCM found the smuggler, cut his hands off, and closed the gap. So Twigg is not going to be smuggling any more units inside of ACCM's base anytime soon. And yeah, I mean, that's just awkward for Twigg, really. I think he misplayed that, to be honest. ACCM, I mean, going to scouts so late, that explains why his castle time is also horrendously late. But he's almost, I think he's okay with it in a way. This does give Twigg the opportunity, though, to actually add a second and third TC now and start to expand his economy a little bit, start securing some more wood lines, because this is awful. This is awful. And coming out here is awful as well, but he might not have many other options. He should consider perhaps expanding to more wood lines. Or alternatively, it seems like what he's actually preferring to do is keep the pressure up, add crossbowmen, add siege, add knights, and just do a little bit of everything and stay on one TC perhaps. He has got a surplus of wood though, so you know he could very easily add a second TC if he likes. But he may be able to be tempted to add more military buildings, maybe a monastery, for example, as well. Time will tell. But thank you very much to Kritzel for that Twitch Prime sub. Did you know you can subscribe for free with Twitch Prime? I guess it's not really free because you're paying for Amazon Prime, but it's free to us. Thank you, Kritzel, for the support and deciding to use your Amazon Prime on us. We appreciate that very much. And well, Twigg here would appreciate being able to get into ACCM's base, but that is not happening on ACCM's watch. And neither is the ram rush on these towers either. Taking down that ram with the scouts, putting those to good use. So Castle Age is in. Japanese going for Halb by the looks of things, and well, don't tell me it's true, but long swordsman. Okay then. Alright, I'll hear you out, ACCM. I'll see what you've got to say. Long swordsman it is. Did I say halb? I meant to say pike, but kind of would like to see some pikes here. Long swordsman definitely catching me by surprise, not gonna lie. Just a strange decision, really. Why? Why long swordsman? They're not particularly good against any of these things. And he doesn't really have any either. I think it must have been a misclick. It's looking more and more like misclick by the second. Because he only has pikes. He never made a men-at-arms even. Yeah, it's got to be a misclick. Oh man, mistakes were made. You know, this is the kind of thing that costs you games. Maybe. This is the kind of thing that gives Twigg an opportunity to come back into it. Maybe, just maybe, it's getting late for ACCM and he's starting to lose his edge. Just saying. He's only got to close out one more game to win the series and win the $150. But can he do it? There's a bit of pressure. The misclicks are being made. And maybe ACCM is starting to crack. Let's see if Twiggy can pull this one back. Now that ACCM seems to be flagging just a little bit. He's got a good number of crossbows out. That's going to spell the end of those pikes. But ACCM also adding some more crossbow of his own. The hill, however, in favor of Twigg. And well, Twigg's army composition is superior. Knights, camels, and crossbow versus crossbow and pike. With a couple of knights mixed in. Although, I don't think ACCM has any upgrades. No, he doesn't. No upgrades on the knights, while Twigg, meanwhile, has bloodlines and +1 defense. +2 defense would be advisable, but so is the PG rating. And parents still take their kids to see inappropriate films. So Twigg does not have to take the advice. Instead, he's going to go with +1 archer defense. Which is also fine, I guess. But still, looks like it's going to be ACCM ramping up the pressure as well. You know, he's the one who recognized earlier on in the game that this left side of Twigg's base is very exposed, open, and ripe for the taking. And he's not forgotten that. So he will be adding a siege workshop. He will be training some mangonels, and he will be ready to push this TC down and deny the gold from under Twigg's nose. Twigg mined out the gold on the right-hand side. This main gold is his lifeline here. And ACCM biding his time, just waiting at the moment, adding in a lot more ranges. And I say a lot more, 2 more. But that's kind of a lot at this point in the game, although with that said, he did lose his range at the front. But he's also got knight production going, remember. He's also got pike production. He's also got the siege workshop. He's also got the monastery. He's got 2 ranges. He's going to go for this really solid, massive units. And in he goes. The monks trying to get the conversions. 1 monk going down. I don't think I saw a conversion from Twigg there, unless he converted as crossbowman, which was underwhelming. And now a forward castle drop from ACCM. Like I said, he recognizes Twigg's Achilles heel and he wants to pressure it with everything he's got. And with 2 mangonels right here, surrounded by a bristling wall of pikes, knights, ACCM should be able to defend this castle and get it up. The knights, though, coming in, 1 getting converted immediately. They're really trying to get on top of the mangonels now. The mangonels zoning out the crossbows. They might end up going down, but the castle is already at 60%, and with no more knights left, Twigg lost all of the knights there, or had them converted. There is no way to stop the castle. And with the castle going up, the TC will go down, and without the TC, well, there is no gold for Twigg. Twigg could take the gold out on the far east, but he needs to get up to Imp now, or he needs to get a siege workshop up and start ram rushing this castle, but I know what I'd prefer. I'd prefer the Imperial Age upgrade into Treb option for Twigg, but well played by ACCM. A lot of forward castles coming in this series, and it's usually ACCM to be the one throwing them down. Looks like Twigg's out on the left side looking for stone, but really he needs gold. There's gold here. There's gold here. He knows about it. He's going for a TC on it. And this is a setback for Twigg, but it's not the end of the world. He just needs to get Imp. That's the problem, but I don't think ACCM is going to let him. ACCM is on 3 TCs, but his resources are looking great. They're looking poised to go up to the Imperial Age, and with that, well, anything that Twigg tries to do in defense will be shut down by the Imperial Age techs that ACCM has to work with. More conversions coming in. Villagers going down. Oh, we tried to get a big shot on the crossbows, but it wasn't to be. The 2 camels will go his way, though. Meanwhile, villagers dying to the castle here as Twigg desperately puts his own castle up in defense. Twigg should have gone for the castle sooner. It's such an important part of the map, and there it is, ACCM going up to the Imperial Age. That's pretty much securing him the victory right here. I'd say it's 95% ACCM's win now, and you know, Twigg's already 2-4 in this series. He may feel a little bit overwhelmed, a little bit demotivated when he sees that Imperial Age upgrade come in for ACCM, and I'd be willing to wager that he calls the GG when that Imperial Age upgrade comes through. We will see that in 2 minutes' time. Twigg, meanwhile, starting to get gold mining. It's slow. He's not really transitioning up to Imp at all here. He's got a lot of farms, but he's about to get raided by some knights, and ACCM is going to be looking. He's going to be on the hunt. And Twigg's got enough stone for another castle and enough stone income for another 3 by the time ACCM reaches Imperial by the looks of things. His eco is severely imbalanced right now with a huge amount of villagers on stone, but it means nothing. All of that stone, all of those castles, they mean nothing if you don't reach the Imperial Age and get an opportunity to defend them. Twigg gonna go for another castle on the right side, this TC. He's gonna do some okay damage. He's got Bodkin Arrow against only +1 defense knights, so decent damage, but in the end, this is ACCM's game to lose now. And Twigg might be building a second castle out here on the left side. But that Imperial Age upgrade needs to come in. Without that, there is nothing left in this game for Twigg. He's adding in camels to try and counter the knights for sure. There'll be a castle out here on the right side for ACCM. And there's the Imperial Age for ACCM. Twigg, he's not calling it just yet. That's good. I'm proud of him. That's good. I said I was willing to wager. I'm glad I didn't, because Twigg's got some fight left in him yet. And I guess the scores are relatively close. I mean, he's got gold control, which is nice, but ouch. Losing a lot of crossbows over here. And he's not... No! Tears! No! No, 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 no. Not like... No! Losing so many crossbows there. Oh, that hurts to watch. Oh, he's getting absolutely mauled to death by that Mangonel. Get out of there, Twigg. Okay, the score difference widening a little bit after losing those guys. But he does have a couple of castles. Oh my goodness, what is this? Oh my goodness. Oh, and he's gonna... Oh! 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 Oh, it was nearly a doubt castle. It was so close. Every villager died. Oh my goodness. But yeah, the Treb's out, like I say, and Imperial Age isn't in for Twigg yet, so he's going to lose a castle here, probably. Twigg, however, will do everything he can to defend this and repair it. But there's Rams coming in as well. There's Arbalest coming out now for ACCM. This over here is kind of messy. I mean, who knows what's going to happen with that. The great Mexican castle standoff. And the Mangudite, good against the battering rams, as we know. And maybe Twigg stands a chance here. If he defends his castle, he stands a chance. And I'm going to be so impressed if Twigg manages to pull this back and get a win. I would be so impressed. He's out of stone, however. And that castle is about to go on fire once again. 2 rams sitting underneath. 1 ram now, but 2 trebs about to be deployed, and only a single treb for Twigg in queue. What can Twigg do? They are even on pop right now, which is insane. But ACCM threatening the castle that really is keeping Twigg in this game, threatening the gold. This gold is being forced idle. This gold is, oh my goodness, another castle going up here. This gold is being forced idle as well, and ACCM is just trying to get a stranglehold, a chokehold on all of the gold piles around the map. Twigg buying stone to try and repair his castle here, I think, and also just repairing it with what he's got. But oh my god, where did that come from? A capped ram from nowhere takes down a treb for free. Now it's 1 treb apiece. With ACCM not having another treb in queue. Can Twigg turn this around? Can he actually turn this around? Both castles in flames. And this castle already going down as well to a treb on the left-hand side. Twigg is pulling this one back. Oh, I'm so impressed with Twigg. It's not over here, folks. It is not over here. ACCM's lost his castle on the front. Twigg keeps his alive. And brings in the scouts. Oh yeah, that's right. No, he brings in the cap ram. On the right side, though, ACCM wins the castle war here. On the left side, it looks like it's going to be Twigg who wins that. So it's 2-1 to Twigg in the castle war department. Twigg may have to bail on the gold on the right-hand side. But this is not over yet. These guys have just started digging their trenches and getting ready for the long haul over here. ACCM, not enough faith to complete the conversion. Not enough stone to repair the castle, and that one's gone too. And now the Mongols have their opportunity to shine. The Mongols have their opportunity to do what they do. Mangudai, like, have... We may very well see Twigg starting to raid soon. We may very well see him getting onto Mangudai, but it's tough. It's not easy. He's got 131 villas, which is great, but he's still lacking a lot of upgrades. And, well, he's not secured his castles yet. And without secure castles, he doesn't want to risk investing too heavily into the Mangudai without any future for them. So skirmishers will do the job just fine for now. Mangudai, obviously a preferred choice, but you can't always get what you want in life. You have to make sacrifices sometimes, and sometimes taking the second best option is the best option. But oh boy, that was a mistake from Twigg, throwing away 2 trebs there. He could equally take out the Trebs from ACCM if he was paying a bit more attention with that ram, but I guess his plate is full at the moment. He's got a lot to think about, a lot to manage at once. And well, ACCM, interestingly, actually making some samurai out on the right side, raiding with samurai. I like it. I'm a fan. Yeah, on the left though, he's got to protect this. His Treb's still alive, which is good. Might be time to try and go forward with the Mangadai here, but there are monks behind it. He's got to kill the Treb. He's so close. Oh, he's going to get it. He's going to get it. The Treb's down. That's just saved that castle right there. At the same time, though, he absolutely has to make sure to protect his own castle here. We've talked about how pivotal this castle is. And I think he's going to be okay. Twigg right now, getting raided a little bit on the right side, but he's okay for now on the left. Well, I say he's okay. There are cat rams coming in, but there are also Mangadai to defend. And you see how quickly they take those rams down. They do a really good job of it. I mean, I say quickly. They're still taking a while to go down, but the point is they take a lot longer to go, or they're a lot quicker to go down compared to other civs. But Twigg may very well be losing the battle here. It's getting tough. He's just lost his castle, so it's wide open for ACCM to walk in. But Twigg, oh no, he's calling it. He's calling it. There it is, the Arbalest at the back, starting to raid his eco there. He lost control of the right-hand side. Although he had control of the left, that castle going down was a really symbolic big blow to him. And ACCM, I mean, he just kept pushing in. I thought the light cav, I was going to say the light cav might end up giving him a way back in if he can, you know, use them to get on the elite skirms and take out the siege. But GG to ACCM there. He does get the win, and it is a 5-2 victory for ACCM. Twigg put up a really good fight in that last game, and, you know, I really could tell that it was looking very over for him going into the Imperial Age, and I commend him for playing on and trying to pull it back, even if it was very unlikely to happen. It started off quite well. He nearly took the castle, or he took the castle down from ACCM. He even took the castle down over here, but ACCM switched into cap rams and Arbalest. He just had a lot more units out on the map, and Twigg was struggling to catch up in tech and to produce enough units and to keep on top of the siege wars as well that were happening in multiple areas. ACCM played very well today, and well deserving of that 5-2 victory. So congratulations to him. He wins $150. And congratulations to us, EscapeAoE, number 1 in the betting with 2,402 points. We win the gift sub. Oh yes, well done guys in the office. And as I said, I'm disappointed. I'm not going to lie, I am disappointed. Morbum in 5th place didn't place a single bet. Just has 700 points from the 700 free points he got from each game that we cast. Not enough people betting in the chat, and I guess if there's not enough interest in the bets, then we probably won't have the motivation to keep doing it. But we'll see. The AoE3 community seems to go mad for the betting, but the AoE2 community seems to just sort of be a bit more lurky, I suppose you could say. But we're going to give someone a gift sub. I don't know who it's going to be, but oh, there you go. Whoever can guess the villager cost of an Indian vill in AoE2, which age? Which age? Whoever's in the office. I mean, that age 1. Okay, well, you kind of got to add that in there. And we'll give a free sub out to whoever guesses that, I guess. Just writing to ACCM to say that congratulations, you won. A lot of people guessing in the chat. 69, good guess. Bowsette, congratulations, you get that. No, wait, no, that's not right. That's not the Indian villager. That's the Bowsette villager. Yeah, well, that's it from me for now. That's the best of 9 Showmatch And ACCM, like I say, takes it 5-2. Congratulations to him. Cold Eyes Penguin gets the free gift sub. So I'm going to come to the office and do that now, and someone from the office is going to come out here and take my spot, because I don't think they can just give you a gift sub. Well, they can, but they'd have to do it with their own money and not with the company money. So I'm going to go into the office and do that now. And someone else will maybe come out here. I don't know. But the schedule for tomorrow's stream is on the screen. And you can see that at 6 p.m. UK time, 17 GMT, we will be doing AoE 3 coaching. Will will be teaching Ham, sorry. I was almost going to say Ham will be teaching Will, but that's not the case. I wonder what Ham could teach Will about AoE 3. I wonder if there's anything that he could possibly teach Will about AoE 3. Maybe he'll be like, he'd probably pull out a random number, like, did you know that the Ottomans actually only have 74 villages that they can train? Because, and then it's probably not true. But, yeah, Will's going to be teaching Ham AoE 3, and then we're going to be doing AoE 3 community games as well after that. So if you're into AoE 3, tomorrow is AoE 3 day. We will see you tomorrow. And thanks for watching, everyone. That's it for us right now. And I'll come and gift Cold Ice Penguin a sub in about 2 minutes. So thanks for watching, everyone. Don't forget to leave us a follow. Join our Discord server. The link is in the chat. Follow us on social media and all that good stuff.